Oh, welcome. What's going on, JG? Johnny Cool. Welcome, Terry. What's up, 203? Welcome back, Rob. Hey, Catherine. Good to see you again. Yeah, I'm actually kind of not really a believer in the starting screen. I tried it once and just seemed lame. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I did see that Fahey got charged. That's what's up. What's up, Pinball? Why am I not watching college football? To be honest, I'm not huge into college football. I'm more of an NFL guy myself. Yeah, I know that's blasphemous for someone from Alabama to say, but it is what it is. I'm just not a big college football guy. I have been watching preseason stuff though from the NFL. Glad to take your law enforcement virginity, Johnny. How do I feel about the season starting soon? I'm actually, I'm ready. I'm ready for some football in my life. Which the preseason's all right, but you know, no one gives a shit about the preseason. I'm a Raiders fan, by the way. Might have just killed half my audience saying that. We got some stuff to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. A few different police interactions and stuff to go over. And I've been forced to throw my hat a little bit into the political ring today. And I think that I have something that's absolutely necessary to talk about. Oh yeah, and trust me, I'm well aware that Brady owns a minority stake in the Raiders. He's made that very publicly known, especially as of late. We may get to some chess towards the end of the stream, but we'll just have to see. I don't know why you guys want to watch me play chess. I'm so terrible at it. There's so many better content creators in the chess space on here. I'm not trying to infiltrate that community by any means. Oh, what's up, Amber? Shout out to Alaska. Well, if my chess skills show my thinking skills, I think I'm pretty terrible. I'm a pretty terrible thinker then. What about Magic the Gathering? I don't play it. I played it when I was a teenager, but not my kind of game nowadays. I just don't have the patience for it. Really, I just don't like the idea of having to get all the cards. It's really a lot of money and time invested into that. And no, I don't collect Pokemon cards. About the only thing I collect are shitty cars and guitars. And I'm trying to stop collecting guitars. Oh. Rod asks, hey John, do you do private consulting or auditing for people? And would you ever consider doing it for people that might not end up on the other channel? I don't do private consulting. No. If you want any kind of legal analysis or anything like that for me, it will have to be posted onto YouTube. So Sorry, I do not offer that service because honestly, there's just too much liability involved in that. You got hooked on VR Texas Hold'em? I mean, I love poker. I love gambling. So I would definitely play that. Audit the Alien. You guys have been calling for that for weeks now. Have you guys watched the one Alien video I did on this channel? Go watch it. Maybe it'll give you your fill for Alien content from me. I did do one Alien video, but you know, it's not really something I want to dedicate a lot of time to. And again, you guys probably wouldn't like my Alien takes at the end of the day. I tend to be very skeptical about a lot of things in that space. I mean, the likelihood of them existing is probably very high in my opinion, but the likelihood of an extraterrestrial race coming to Earth, I think, is probably pretty low. Catherine says, I used to collect Pokemon cards, but I haven't gotten any since I was a kid. I still have those cards that I had since then. Catherine, you should, if you haven't been in the Pokemon card space for a while, you should see if any of those cards are worth money, because I know that some of the cards I had as a kid are worth a shitload of money nowadays. So if you still have cards that you're hanging on to, consider posting them on eBay. You'll probably get a pretty good bit of money, or hold them, you know, for longer term. But the thing is like, you never know when the waves of stuff like that becoming valuable and not valuable might happen. Man, I'll just put it to you this way. There were probably a lot of people in the 90s telling people to hold on to their Beanie Babies, and those things are fucking worthless. So I don't know. If I had a bunch of Pokemon cards right now, I would sell them immediately. I wouldn't wait any longer. Summer first gen? Yeah, you should definitely sell that. Sell that stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get serious. Let's get into the episode and what we're here to talk about today. I have a few different topics. Well, a few different body cameras. But the first thing I want to talk about is this video that has been posted around quite a bit. And I'll go ahead and play it and kind of talk over it a little bit, because I don't know how much of this you actually need to hear. Oh, this is actually good. Hey, John, you look over some of Gideon's predator catching video. It isn't the type of video you would usually make, but okay, let me just say this. First of all, I talked to Gideon, actually. This is probably this is some internet lore that, let me just go back to full screen here. Here's some internet lore for you that is not widely known, I would say. I've been talking to Gideon on and off for a while now, a few months. He actually hit me up because he was wanting to get some body camera footage from one of the predator catching things that he did in Dallas. I did the FOIA request, got the footage, and gave it to him. That took a few months to do, or at least a few weeks. I can't remember what the timeline was exactly, but I love Gideon's content. I like Gideon as a person. I think that I like the predator catching space. And I think that anytime that the police are failing in some aspect, and maybe failing isn't the right word in terms of this predator catching stuff, but what Gideon and all those channels are doing is the kind of shit that I would like to see our police officers doing and taking seriously. So anytime we can take a predator off the street, I'm happy about that. But anyway, so Gideon and I we talk pretty frequently. I got him that footage. He's got something planned pretty soon that I may be involved in. So You might see a video pop up on the John Lang channel pretty soon of kind of my vlog of going and helping Gideon catch a predator, and hopefully convincing the police on the scene to do the right thing, and that they have enough evidence. Because I've noticed that tends to be a pattern with the police that he interacts with. So maybe someone who's there on the scene that could give a little more insight to the cops about what's going on and kind of keep them in check would help. So on top of that, I do plan on covering one of Gideon's interactions in an upcoming episode of ATA, because I think that there needs to be some credibility added to what he's doing and the legality of what he's doing, and the utter failure of the police to take him seriously sometimes. So yeah, I will look over some of Gideon's pred catching videos, and in fact, I may very well participate in one. So I know that was probably a lot more of an answer than you were expecting to get, but there you go. All right. Well, now let's talk about this video, and I guess I'll just play some of it in case some of you haven't seen it. This has been in the news quite frequently, and I think that it warrants us talking about it. So
20 years in the United States Army, I fought for every single one of your rights to express yourself in however you feel that you may want to express yourself. There's a First Amendment right to burn the American flag. Art Stevens in that house right there signed an executive order saying that it was illegal to burn the American flag. No president can make a law, period. No Congress will make a law infringing on First Amendment rights. I'm burning this flag as a protest to that illegal fascist president that sits in that house. Do this for every single one of you American citizens. We burn this flag in protest to that president who feels that it's his right to do whatever he wants, make whatever law he wants, regardless if it's legal or illegal. No way. No way. Go the fuck away from me. Fuck you. What the fuck? Once again.
all right, so obviously, I don't know if you guys have seen this video or not. It's been pretty much going around the news. A lot of strong opinions surrounding this action of burning the flag. First of all, I think the first thing that people should know about this is that the Supreme Court has ruled multiple times that it is well within your First Amendment rights to burn the flag. And if you don't know, he was arrested for doing that. And so there are two main cases. The first one is Texas versus Johnson, which I think was in the late 80s, early 90s, which was essentially dealing with just desecration of a flag as an act of protest, which was obviously, very clearly protected by the First Amendment, and that was decided by the Supreme Court. Secondly, there was, after that happened, I don't know if you guys remember this, but Congress tried to basically enact a law saying that you cannot burn the flag, you can't desecrate the flag, blah, blah, blah. Well, that also immediately got shot down by the Supreme Court. It has been well established in the canon of free expression litigation that burning a flag is a legitimate act of protest that is protected under the Constitution. Now, Donald Trump recently enacted an executive order to ban burning the flag, which is pretty fucking ridiculous. I mean, I don't even know where a president would get off thinking that they should do something like that, especially since we've already had Congress try to do this and fail and have it struck down as unconstitutional. I I mean, there's just no excuse for this. At this point, I've said it on Twitter, but I'll say it here too, so you can hear it from my voice. If you support Donald Trump, you are supporting authoritarian policing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Look at his track record. From his first term to his second term, he has been abhorrently pro police. He does not care about any of your civil rights. This man is propped up, bought, and paid for by police unions, the technological oligarchy that we have existing in America today, especially with companies like Palantir. These are Donald Trump's motivations. He doesn't give a shit about your rights. He doesn't give a shit about, I mean, just look at the state of federal policing right now. What more evidence do you need than what is literally before your eyes to understand that Donald Trump is acting like an authoritarian tyrant? And let me clear the air on this real quick. I'm not a conservative or a liberal. Okay. I think that there are a lot of things wrong with the left too. Like wokeism has gotten out of control. There's a lot of critiques I could have for the left, just as many I could have for the right. And I'm not saying this through the lens of a political perspective. I'm saying this as someone who values constitutional principles and thinks that the Constitution is an important document that should be adhered to. And Donald Trump is not acting that way. And I would say this same thing if it was a liberal president, an independent president, if we had a fucking alien elected for president. I don't give a shit. The point is, no one in his position should be executing executive orders that ban civil rights. That's essentially what's happened here. So I just wanted to make that opinion known that this man's arrest was unlawful. This is an unlawful arrest. And if you don't stand behind the message that this man was trying to convey by burning the flag, you are anti-American. Burning the flag is what our ability to do that is what makes America such a great place to live. You can't get away with that in most other places in the world. The fact that we are allowed to do that is a symbol of freedom more than the flag itself actually is. I just can't in my mind rationalize how anyone would think that what this guy did was wrong in any way, shape, or form, regardless of the motivation. I don't care if this guy I don't know this guy's political ideology. I don't know what he identifies with. Obviously, he doesn't like Donald Trump. But we're not just remove the political aspects of this from your mind and think about just a president, any president, issuing an executive order that essentially derails your constitutional rights. It's utterly ridiculous. And I don't know how we can stand for this as a country, and how there's a cult built up around this mentality. And for some reason, we've gotten this so twisted that we think that burning the American flag is somehow un-American. And it's actually the exact opposite of that. It was illegal to burn the flag until 1989. It shouldn't have been. It should have never been illegal to burn the flag. We should always be allowed to burn the flag anytime we want in protest. Yeah. And look, again, this is not a critique on Trump and conservatives in general or the MAGA movement necessarily. It's really just a critique on the fact that we have a president in office using his executive powers to override your constitutional rights. And that should be scary regardless of any other context. It doesn't matter what other variable you throw into that equation, it is still scary and fucked up, and we need to do and say things about it. That's a really good point, Roy. KKK burnt crosses. They burnt crosses. And it was blatantly hate speech, which is something we have decided to tolerate in this country, which, as we should. But the point is, like, we don't get to just selectively decide when and how the First Amendment fucking works, especially the president. He's removed from that entire process for a reason. Burning the flag is a sacred duty of the Guidan. Should the flag become vulnerable to the enemy, it symbolizes imminent defeat. And the, how do you say that fucking word? Is it Guidan or Guidan? Carries 3 things inside his staff: a trowel, a match, and one. Okay. Yeah, I saw Manuel's false arrest too. Oh, Stimpy says, absolutely, it's scary, John, but far too many people are happy to throw the baby out with the bathwater because they think their side is winning. Yeah, this is why tribalism in this country is just good. It's just tearing us apart. And it's like, what is it actually doing? It's supposed to be Gideon. That makes sense. Thank you, Biospark. But what is tribalism even accomplishing in this country? I mean, Jesus Christ, no one has gotten anything done on the political stage since we've had this, social breakup that we've had over the past few years. Anyway, I just wanted to say that because I feel like, I have something of a platform here, and every now and then there will be some convictions that strike me that may be political in nature that I feel just are necessary for me to say. Maybe not for any particular reason, and I'm not saying this stuff in hopes that I'll somehow get anything from it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that, like, if I have an influence on anyone's decision making and the way that they think, I hope that they see this video and maybe gain some perspective. All right. Well, let's jump into the police interactions. I'm done with my political rants for today. And we got a couple of good police interactions that we're going to skip around to. And then I got 2 kind of interesting videos for us to watch that aren't police interactions. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's just this video, by the way, was posted by Spark Up, and it says, "In the face of evil, the power of Elohim shall prevail." All right, let's see how it goes.
Let's get it going. What's your name?
My name is
Name and
Officer
badge
Wise,
number.
1560.
Name and badge number.
If you can read, that's where it is.
No, what's your name? I'm asking you a question.
And I answered your
Say
question.
it out loud.
No.
Nah, watch out. Get from in front of my door. This
Don't
this
touch
lady
the door.
touching me. That's assault.
Don't
I'm
touch
getting
the
this
door.
all on camera. This
Don't
is
touch
assault.
the door.
This is assault.
'Cause I've asked you
This is
nicely.
assault. Why are you standing in front of my door?
So,
Why are you over
you
here?
should've pulled that camera out alone.
Why are you over here?
Can I get a minute to step it up?
Why are you over here? This shorty pulled her taser on me for nothing. And she ain't answered no questions. She just pulled up and asking
Are
me
you
why
gonna
I'm
show me your
parked.
license?
Why I'm parked in a legally
Are you gonna
parked
show me your
spot.
license?
No,
All right, cool.
you ain't traffic stopped me. I wasn't even driving or doing nothing. I have no reason to show you my license. No reason. Is it a law to just give you my license because you asked for it? You getting upset because she's a power tripper. Look at her. Look at her. She's upset because she ain't getting what she asked for.
Only person gonna be upset in the end probably gonna
Bro,
be you.
for what?
Because
For
right now,
what?
technically,
For
it's
what?
obstruction.
What's
Because for
technically
one, you're
obstruction
in
of
the parking lot
what?
of a closed business, you're not
Obstructed
supposed
of
to be here,
what?
right?
That's not
So
illegal.
I asked
That's
for
not
his ID.
illegal.
All right, we don't know much yet, but it sounds like he was just chilling in a private parking lot and this cop just drove up and demanded his ID. What the fuck makes her think she can do that? I mean, it's not illegal to be parked in at a closed business, especially not in the. It's not even suspicious in the middle of the day. It's not illegal anytime unless you've been trespassed from that property previously. So I can't imagine she has the lawful authority to demand this man's ID right now.
That's not illegal.
Is this business not closed?
It's not illegal to
Is
be
it
here.
considered loitering? Suspicious activity, right?
Yeah, it's close.
And it says no trespassing, right?
Right.
Where?
So she said like 50 different things right there. Loitering, suspicious activity. What else was it? Let's hear it.
Considered loitering, suspicious activity, right?
Yeah, it's close.
And it says no trespassing, right?
And no trespassing. Well, I mean, I just don't see it. I don't think that this is loitering. I don't think it would necessarily be trespassing, depending on how the signage is, because you generally have an implied consent to enter a public parking lot. That's generally how that is perceived. We need to know more about this business, where the signs are, and what happened before he started recording to really draw any conclusions, though.
Right.
Where does it say no trespassing?
I showed you that.
I'm parked right here.
So do you have your driver's license?
That lot is over there.
Yes or no?
I have my license.
Are you
Yes, I
gonna
do.
show us?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. This is my car. Everything here is mine.
Come on.
Everything here is mine.
Well, you can wait till that one.
Can you please back up, please?
No, I'm not.
Because now I feel unsafe. I feel safe. No, you opened my door. You opened my door. No, I did roll. Is this my window?
I don't know his name.
Is this my window?
Hey, is the car in your name?
You do know my name because you probably
I
ran
don't
my
know your
plates. Well, then go find out and run the plates. She just got out the car and started tripping on me, homie. Like, what you expect from me, bro? Like, I'm not one of those.
Who you think I am?
I'm not one of those. See,
either.
look at you.
Like,
Look
fight
at you.
somebody.
You're a dyke that thinks you got some sort of power, shorty.
For real.
You all fucked up
I
and
ain't on no
confused.
power trip,
Yes,
baby.
you
I
are.
asked for your ID and what you-
Why? You didn't tell me why.
You might wanna lower your tone.
Why I got to give you my
You might
ID?
wanna lower your tone.
You ain't told me no crime or nothing.
I already told you what you what
Shorty, you
doing.
got me
You're
aggravated and
loitering.
excited. I'm speaking with
Suspicious
energy.
activity. You're
How?
in a closed business.
How?
There's no
How is that
trespassing.
suspicious?
Well, my question is, like, for the loitering aspect of this, how would she possibly know that this guy was loitering before coming up to him and demanding to know that? Because, like, if there's just a car parked in a parking lot of a closed business, what makes you think that it's not someone who works there or an employee or an invited guest? I mean, there's so many innocent explanations for that. I don't know how you could just see a car parked in a closed business parking lot in the middle of the day and think that there was a crime happening.
Let's be for real.
How is a parked car in a parking
You don't
lot
comprehend
suspicious?
well. You don't comprehend well. I get it.
I do comprehend. You trying to come up with some fabricated bullshit. And I'm asking you questions and you're not answering them. You
I
saying
asked you for
suspicious
your ID,
activity,
you
but
gave
I'm
it to me,
parked
right? Cool.
in a parking lot.
So I want to be clear. You
So-
have refused to show me your ID 3 times, right? Yes or
Because
no?
you haven't told me
I
why.
already told you why. Yes or no?
Tell me why. Why are
I'm
you
not
stopping
telling
me?
you again. Yes or no?
I'm asking you a
Huh?
question.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That's a totally irrelevant question if you don't have a reasonable suspicion to demand the ID. You don't it doesn't matter if he refused to give you his ID when he wasn't lawfully required to.
Yes, sir. Please tell this girl to back
I know my
up.
name is Officer
and
Wise.
leave me
My name
alone.
is
Let me
Officer.
close
I'm
my
not gonna
door.
let you know.
I don't like my door open.
I don't care.
Mr. Price, this is
I don't like-
a closed business. That's all. All right.
Bro, I come here
That's not
every
illegal
day.
by at least
I
5
park
times.
Uber. I come here every day and
That's
take
at
my
least
break.
5 times.
And I do
You're
my
not gonna keep-
meditations. I
you're
listen
not
to my
gonna
music.
keep-
She saw exactly what I was doing when she came
I
here.
did not.
Okay.
I saw you when I walked here. You were about to pull off.
Shorty, you
And I
tripping.
knocked on the window. And
You're
said, "You
tripping,
gonna
and
pull
that's
off?"
sad.
Right,
That's
let's be
sad.
for real.
You guys got
wanna-
better things to
You
do
wanna
than
change
this.
your story when you start?
No, I'm not changing no story. There's no story to
Hello world.
change.
Hello world.
I have no
That makes you
story.
feel better?
I have no story.
Can I see your ID?
No, because I have not committed no crime.
I don't care.
His name is
Yes, I do care. I don't care what you care about, but I care what I care about. And I don't like police coming out here trying to dick me around.
She's saying she doesn't care that he hasn't committed a crime. That's essentially what she just said. I don't care. I don't care that you haven't committed a crime. I still want your ID.
Like I'm some punk ass bitch.
Yeah,
So
the
they
law
close
cares.
my door. Close my door.
Where you from, man?
Bro, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland originally. I've been out here for 4 years, bro.
Okay.
I've been out here for 4 years. I've been driving Uber for 2 years, bro. I've been coming to this parking lot every single day.
Okay, Mr. Price. Well,
Every
let's just
single
start over.
day.
Let's just start, okay. I'm Officer Johnson. This Officer Wise. All right, we're on special ops. The only reason why she pulled you over is because you're just sitting here. That's the only reason why. You're just sitting here in a closed business.
And again, well, there you go. Well, where's the criminal aspect of that? What part of that made you think that a crime might be happening?
My point, she didn't pull me over. I was just sitting here parked.
I mean, not pulled you over. Just
sitting here parked. So you want to come up and act, that you want to do a check? That's fine. Do
Go
the check.
What do you think?
But you
I
see
tried
what
to
I'm
do
doing.
When I knocked on
No,
the window,
you can't.
Hold on. Let's be clear. So don't miss the price. Don't
Yeah,
start
I'm ready.
lying.
Shorty, you
When
said you got it on
I knocked
camera.
on the window. The car was in motion.
'Cause I didn't
"Dang,
see
wanna
you.
pull off?" You said,
I did
"Oh,
not
you
see
gonna
you.
pull
I
me?"
did not
said,
see
"Would
you.
rather me
My
come
windows
from
are
the
dark.
front or
I don't
behind?"
just look in the back when I'm
And
ready
when
to go.
hold
I'm
on,
ready to go.
wait. When I
You didn't have any lights. How did I even know you was coming? So you got upset that I was driving off thinking I was trying to get
I'm
away
not
from you,
even
but I
upset.
didn't see you.
Honestly, I'm not upset. I could care less about
So you was
Understood.
upset.
Let's be
And you
clear.
was power
And
tripping.
I asked you,
And you
how many
opened my
times
door.
for
You
your
opened
ID?
my door on
Why
a
did I
power
open
trip.
your door?
You grabbed my arm and you
Why
pulled
did I
your
open your
taser out
door?
on me and said you was
Right.
gonna tase me. For
Absolutely.
nothing.
Absolutely.
For nothing. So I said at this
So she didn't even know, like, okay, so this guy's parked. There, a cop rolls up behind him. He didn't even pay attention to them being there, which is totally possible. And then he goes to drive off, and without activating her lights, without issuing directives, without letting this guy know, she just opened his door and demanded him to stop at taser point. I mean, you have to let them know that you want them to stop and stay before you can start making the accusation that they tried to run away.
point, let me get my
Absolutely.
phone.
Because you did
Let me
what?
get my
You
phone for
rolled
my
the window up
protection
and you said
because
you
you're
was
supposed to
gonna
be my
drive off.
people. And you ain't supposed to be doing this type of shit to me, bruh.
Everybody, my people. Everybody. Black,
You ain't acting
white,
like it.
whatever.
You fucking with me for no reason. And you think I'm some
You know how
criminal or
long ago
something.
This could have been solved if he just
Shorty,
went-
why?
How many minutes ago?
Why? Guess what? I drive Uber. I got nowhere to be.
You know what's even more ridiculous is that they're calling this guy, they're saying his name. They know who he is. At this point, it's just a struggle over him giving his ID or not. Like they already have every bit of information they would need to continue an investigation about him, but they're just caught up on this ID thing, which is just a waste of time for everyone involved.
I got all day.
I do too.
I got all day.
I do too.
So I ain't about to give you my license for nothing just to appease you.
That's up to you.
So do what y'all gotta do. If you want to take it from me, take it from me. But I'm recording it. And we're gonna take this to wherever we gotta take it to.
Just ask you for it. That's all. If you,
I get it, but I don't want to give it to you because I don't have
You
to.
want to give it to
It's
him?
my right to not give it to you.
Can you give it to
Because I ain't
me?
commit
You
no
wanna give it to
crime.
me, Mr. Price, and I'll just-
Can you back up and get the let me close my door?
No.
Then I'm not
You
giving you
wanna roll down the
nothing.
window?
Because I don't like how
she already tried to drive
I
off
will
two
talk to
times,
you
so
through the
no.
window.
No, I'm not closing
Shorty,
anything.
well then okay, then I'm not giving you nothing.
We'll give it.
Does she think she's going to prevent him from driving off by keeping his door open? When has that ever stopped anyone who had the motivation to drive away from a police officer?
You don't want to work with me, I'm not working with you.
Not working with you. 'Cause at
Let's
this
make an
point-
agreement.
at this point, it's gonna turn
Let's
into
make a
something.
deal.
So,
You close my door,
I'm
I
not
give you my
closing your
license.
door.
Okay, then I'm
I
not
don't
giving
make
you my
deals with
license.
people, sorry.
See, this is what she been on
I don't make
10,
deals
and
with
she tried to switch it up, not me.
Um,
You was on
I'm glad
10,000 and
this
you
is
still are.
recording.
Net one's coming, so-
That's a power trip.
Yeah.
You don't want to let me close my door because you just don't want to let me close my door. Because you're on a power
My
trip.
supervisor's on the way, so I'll let you talk to him.
Where I'm going to drive off to? Fucking traffic. Yeah, because you being a nerd. Point blank. But the point I'm
Who
making,
put that
power
car in
trip.
drive? Me or you? You.
Shorty,
So
I didn't see you.
I guess
I'm
you
ready to
being a nerd
leave.
then, right.
I was done doing what I was doing. You
You
probably
must be
see me
having
wrapping
bad
it up. I don't know what how long you've been watching me. You probably been watching and seeing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And you just so whatever. Shorty, I don't
So
really
you over here
care what you got
meditating.
going on.
Okay, I get it.
I don't really, it don't really matter to me, but you don't want to work with me, I ain't gonna work with you. And whoever you got coming, it don't matter to me.
This really depends on whether or not they actually had reasonable suspicion, which I have my doubts about that, but we honestly can't say for sure because, for example, there are a lot of variables in this that we just cannot know. There may very well be a written agreement between this business and the police department to keep people out of their parking lot. Now, that would be a strange scenario considering that he said he did this every day. But there are too many factors that we just don't know to be able to make that distinction. I'll just say this. If she did have reasonable suspicion, she likely would be within her authority to open his door and demand him to get out of the car. But we just don't know that.
It's actually nice, man.
No, she's not. You think
Jay,
she is.
After this,
That's what
watch
you think.
my body cam.
That's what
So
you
you can
think.
see. Like, I don't do that. I don't even.
What you mean you don't do
like
that? How do we get to this point? Did you put your taser on me?
Why
Did you open
why?
my door
Why?
aggressively
Why?
on a power? Why? I'm asking you why. You tell me why. That's actually a great question. Why did you open my door like that when I tried to roll my window
Why
up? Because you didn't like
rolled
it.
your window up when I was
Because you
speeding.
didn't like. No, you was not. You was just sitting there.
So the first time when you attempted to put your car in drive,
Is that
why
illegal?
would I allow you?
Is
to
it
roll your
illegal
window
for
up?
me to roll my window up
Like,
while
why?
you speaking to me?
Why? So that's why I opened
I
your
just
door.
told you why.
I can't see what you have. In
I
the
told
car.
you I
don't
didn't
know what
see
you're
you.
doing.
You
So
know-
therefore, yes, I'm going to open your door every single time.
See, look at you.
Every single
Look at
time.
you.
You
See,
sound like a,
see, look at
you
you.
sound crazy.
Look at you. And you think that's nice?
I'm trying to be nice.
You think that's nice?
Pull him out of the car.
Trying to
I've
be.
asked for his ID about 5 different times. For one, when I pulled up, he tried to drive off. I knocked on the window. He was like,
And I
"Oh, you
stopped.
creeping up on me from
I
behind."
stopped
said,
when
"Would
I
you
saw
rather-"
you.
Hold on. Would you
Go
rather
ahead. Go
me
ahead,
drive on
man.
the
Go
front?
ahead.
I was like, well, what's up? What you doing out here? Let me see your ID. I'm not showing you nothing. I ain't got to show you nothing. I ain't doing nothing wrong. A closed business says no trespassing. You're not supposed to be here.
Sir,
I don't
as
care
I
what
explained
you're
to
doing.
her.
I don't care if you're-
See, she's saying that there's that no trespassing sign, but she has no idea whether or not this guy's actually trespassing. She has nothing. I mean, like, you couldn't just observe this situation and understand that someone is trespassing, with the exception of there already being some kind of agreement or complaints from this business in the past, or that he's already been trespassed. Just sitting in a parking lot is not evidence that you're trespassing.
And this gentleman, when he came with some common sense, I drive Uber. I come.
He tried to put the car
All
in drive again. He let the window back up. So I opened the door and pulled out my taser. I said, bro, I will tase you. Like, let's be for real. He's like, get out
And
of
that's
my way,
illegal.
get out of my way, get out of my
You don't
way.
have jurisdiction to do that.
So, please.
So if I roll my window up, you get angry. That doesn't give you the right to aggressively open my door and pull your taser on me.
But the lieutenant right here is probably taking her to the back to give her a lesson in how this should have been handled. I like that he got to close his door.
They did ID him. No, I'm saying he said he's willing to give his ID.
See, I feel like she just said, no, I'm saying he's willing to give his ID. And it seems like the LT is over there saying, is this really worth it? And she's like, well, he said he would give his ID, just not to me. She's still pursuing this.
Mr. Price,
Yes, sir.
you understand why this officer made contact with you?
Man, no, brother. I
Okay,
come
what you
here
see?
every day. I do my meditations, and I take my break. I drive Uber.
Okay.
I never had any issues, bruh. It's a closed business. Nobody's doing nothing here. It's a parking lot. I find a place to park where I got some space, and I do me, brother. I look into the sun, I meditate, and I do my healing energy. I go to pull off. I didn't see her. When she knocked, I stopped and acknowledged her. Okay, what's going on? I didn't continue to try to speed off or none of that. Shorty's on her aggressive. I don't know what's going on, brother, but I know it's uncalled for.
Okay.
And I know my rights is being violated, and she want my ID and all this stuff for no reason when I committed no crime.
Okay, well, you're
So-
in a business that's closed, it's vacant. All right.
Okay.
So she does have the right to request your ID. However, you're lucky because we have identified who you are. So have a good day.
All right, Mr. Wilkerson. Thank you for being a wise man. Thank you.
All right, so that kind of painted a little more context to this is that the business was vacant. So I mean, what was he gonna do? Break into an empty building? Again, like there's a lot of stuff about that interaction that we just don't know. But at the same time, there's a lot that we can infer from what we just saw. And I think pending the only exception to this that would warrant an officer's intervention in that situation would be if the business had some kind of agreement with the police department. And even then, I think you're still kind of pushing it because it could have just as easily, for example, if he was trespassing, then the protocol would be to issue him a trespass warning and make him leave. But they never even tried that. They wanted to go for the you're loitering and demanding to see your ID, which I think would probably not hold up in court at all. Bean Party. The officer probably could have exercised her right to remain silent a little better. Yeah, for sure. What's up, Billy? Good to see you here, dude. All right, well, let's keep it rolling. We'll get into this next one here. This video is from Corners News. Great, he's a good channel. Posts good stuff all the time. I don't know anything about this one. I haven't seen anything that happens in this video, so let's just jump right into it.
Your light discipline, sir?
My what?
Your light discipline with your vehicle having the lights off in an area of high traffic. We're just trying to make sure you're all good, sir. Hey, sir.
All right, have a good one.
What do you mean have a good one? Where are you going?
We had two agents that said you were lights out over there, hanging out on the side of the road.
Okay.
And they began to question you, and they said you just took off on them.
Move
Do not
away.
step out of the vehicle.
Move.
All right, freaking previews, man. Previews.
Hey, what's happening, man? Yeah, everything's fine.
We saw you stop there for a day.
Yeah. I was stopped.
Are you good? Are you good?
Yeah, no. Who? No,
Can't really hear anything.
I'm married, man.
Eh?
I'm married.
No, I know, but where are you coming from?
I'm married. Why you're asking me personal questions?
You say you're married?
Yeah.
I didn't ask.
I'm not gay.
I said, where are you coming from?
I'm not.
Beginning.
I'm not gay, man. I don't think you're. Sorry.
Hey, I'm
Who are you?
sir.
Okay.
So you're in our area of responsibility, sir.
Okay.
We have certain describables
Okay.
based on the car, based on where you were parked.
Okay.
Your light discipline, sir.
My what?
Your light discipline with your vehicle having the lights off in an area of high traffic. We're just trying to make sure you're all good.
What do
sir.
you mean high traffic?
High traffic of illegal smuggling that goes around here a lot.
What did you have your
Officer
firearm?
safety, sir.
Oh, whether you're in this line of duty, you're scared.
Okay, again, it doesn't matter.
They
right?
just
We're
give it
trying
to us
figure
as
out if you're-
toys, sir. It's not serious. Hey, sir.
All right, have a good one.
What do you mean have a good one? Where are you going?
Well, what a ballsy ass thing to do, right? Holy shit. I did not expect that. Him to just drive off like that. To be fair, I don't think that he was ever told he was being detained. But granted, let me go back. We're at 224. Let me go back to the beginning here. Yeah, we don't actually see what prompted this stop, do we? Okay, here we are. He's driving down the road and he's flagged down.
Hey, what's happening, man?
Okay. So yeah, we don't get to see anything that like, I mean, the flashing of the light. And again, here's the thing. Remember when we talked about that other interaction where the guy got out of the car and the cop put his hands on him, immediately pushed him back. If you remember, I was talking about him flashing his flashlight as potentially being a show of authority that would lead to a detainment. But again, I think that that's a really weak argument, and that's why I wasn't so convicted about saying that on that video. But here, again, I don't know if just flashing your flashlight like this, I mean, he just chose to pull over. You can interpret this signal so many different ways in this context that I don't know if this qualify. I don't think this will qualify as a legitimate detainment. And we saw the conversation up until the point that he left, and no one ever said anything about him being detained. So I don't know. I don't think that this was unlawful in any way. I feel like he kind of this was a consensual encounter from the beginning, and it would be interesting to it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Oh, where are you going?
Where are you going? He's leaving. Man, they just let him go too. Yeah, honestly, I think, George, this is the right move. Like, if a cop is just flashing their light at you, I mean, especially when they were in a car, you know, like, I just really don't, I don't think you would be under any legitimate obligation to. It's interesting right there that something weird just happened there. He decided to pull over. Like, he's already pulled off the road, and you can see right here that this cop does not have his lights on. So he pulled over before the traffic stop could be initiated. There it is. He's officially detained now. Am I glitching? What's going on? You guys? Is everything good? Okay, I think everything's good. It's probably just you, Fairlane. Refresh, brother. Yeah, I should 2x this 4x, huh? There we go.
It doesn't work. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't roll down. No, this side. No. This side. This side right here. Doesn't work. Come this side.
I can't come to that side. You're in the middle of traffic.
Let me move.
How you doing, sir?
So what's the reason for the stop, man?
We had two agents that said you were lights out over there, hanging out on the side of the road.
Okay.
And they began to question you, and they said you just took off on them.
Yeah, they weren't detaining me, so.
No, they didn't.
No.
Because they told me they were questioning you.
Of course, yeah. Anybody can question anyone, right?
Yeah. No.
Right.
And then you're driving all over the road.
No, I'm not. You're driving behind me with your high beams on.
Yeah, I was running your plates, sir. So what were you doing over there?
I'm not.
All right. So all they have is that this guy was pulled over to the side of the road with his lights off. Which, to be fair, I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, but it's just not, let me just try. All right. So if this is an area, a stretch of highway that is documented, has some kind of history of, you know, there being illegal trafficking, I would assume that that would qualify for some type of special consideration, like a high crime area, for example. Now, we know high crime area alone is not enough to establish reasonable suspicion. But what it can do is add a criminal element to otherwise normal suspicion. So if I were to be the prosecutor in this case, for example, and let's say this guy gets arrested, and we don't know that, I haven't seen this video, so, but what I would say is that officers witnessed a vehicle in a pulled over to the side of the road with no lights on while being occupied. Okay. And I think that that would be a key element of this, to say, because just a car parked on the side of a shoulder with no lights on is not inherently suspicious, even in an area that would be high crime. But if there's someone in that vehicle, that could add some suspicion, right? And then let me just say, here's what the prosecution would say. It's late at night. They didn't have their lights on. They knew that someone was in the vehicle, and they're in an area that is known for trafficking. So those would probably be the best elements that they could put together to make reasonable suspicion in this context. But it's still kind of shaky, right? Very shaky, in my opinion. It would be easy to defend against that in the court of law. I think that any good defense attorney would be able to offer wholly innocent explanations for all of that activity. And not to mention the fact that I legitimately don't think he was actually detained at any point. I don't think that he was under any real legal obligation to obey the flashlight sign. So it makes me wonder, like, the real thing is that if the initial detainment was ruled legitimate, or the initial cause for reasonable suspicion was ruled legitimate, I think that this officer here might be conducting a legitimate traffic stop. But it shouldn't be related to his interaction that he just had with the other officers, because he didn't do anything illegal in that context. And they never told him, hey, you're being detained. This, blah, blah, blah. Everything about that interaction seemed to be consensual. So again, we're in a little bit of a gray area, but I'm leaning heavily on the driver's. I sincerely think that he's probably well within his rights right now.
Gay, man.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm not gay. Why are you asking me personal questions?
That's not a personal question.
Yeah, that's personal. Really?
Why were you pulled over on the side of the road?
That's a personal question. Do you at least have reasonable suspicion to pull me over?
Yes, I do.
For what crime?
There's no crime.
Okay, then you don't have reasonable suspicion. You know how reasonable suspicion works?
Yes, I do. All right. Have a good day.
Wait, what? You're just gonna walk away from that? What the hell? Just have a good day? What was the point of this whole stop then, man? Come on. What are you doing? Okay. Let's go back a second, because they kind of discussed reasonable suspicion there. Hold on.
Okay, then you don't have reasonable suspicion. You know how reasonable suspicion works?
Yes, I do.
Hold on. Back a little bit more.
Do you at least have reasonable suspicion to pull me over?
Yes, I do.
For what crime?
There's no crime.
Okay, then you don't have reasonable suspicion. You know how reasonable suspicion works?
Yes, I do.
All right, so let's clear this up, because it seems like both people here don't know how reasonable suspicion works. So, you don't have to have suspicion of a specific crime. And it seems to be that's what this driver is implying here, is that the officer would need to have suspicion that he committed a specific crime. And this is a common misconception when it comes to reasonable suspicion. Officers don't need to think, I think this guy is committing this statutory violation in order to effectuate or build reasonable suspicion. They just need to have a set of facts that lead them to believe that criminal activity is afoot. That's it. It's the facts that matter, not the crime. So you could have a set of facts that could describe a context where several different crimes may apply or none at all. The point is that what the officer observes is what matters with reasonable suspicion, not whether or not they can articulate a specific crime. It does have to be articulable and specific, but it's the facts that have to be articulable and specific, not a crime, not a certain crime that has to be articulated. Yes, dude. George, that's how it works, my man. Go look it up. Go read the Terry case. They lay it all out right there for you. And I mean, or you could go pick up a copy of this right here, and it explains all of that too. What facts did they have is a different question. And we don't know that. We don't know all the facts that they may or may not have had. And officers typically don't reveal all of those facts to the person that they're stopping. George, I will believe. I'm not just believing what I want. That is the objective truth of the situation. You are being willfully ignorant by believing that they have to have a specific crime. That is just not true. Go look it up, brother.
All right. Have a good day.
If you believe that, you're ignorant for sure.
Sir, how you doing tonight?
Who are you?
It's all right, sir. I'm just.
Who are you?
Excuse me?
Who are you?
I'm a Border Patrol agent Cruz.
Okay.
Here I work in Laredo West AO.
Ah, well, nice to meet you. Am I still being detained or what?
Sir,
Am I still being detained?
No, you're not detained.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to talk to you.
We're doing a vehicle. Like,
I
right now,
don't want to
we're
talk to you.
concerned. Somebody was saying that you was under. We're gonna make sure you're okay.
Am I still being detained? Am I still being detained?
Sir, you're not being detained.
Simple question.
We're gonna ask you, are you okay? You
All
feel
right.
like feel okay?
All right. Why do you need so many officers?
You know, I'm surprised he didn't just drive off again. Why not just drive off? He just was told he's not being detained, so leave. Drive off again.
Because we work in this area. We're corners.
All right.
So we work at 9. And that's what we do.
All right. So am I still being detained?
Sir, are you okay?
I'm not.
I'm not. Are you good to go? Like
I'm not.
Basically, you good? Because right now you were stopped over there, and it was something about.
I'm not answering anything you asked me. You may leave now.
He told them they can leave.
You're good to go.
All right.
Don't step out of the vehicle. You cannot step out of the vehicle.
Am I detained or no? Am I detained?
Yeah, where are they getting the lawful authority to tell him he can't exit his vehicle if he's not detained? You can't control someone's movement who you don't have the lawful authority to control.
Detained?
You can leave.
Am I detained?
No.
You leave.
Do not step out of the vehicle.
You're not detained, but you can't do whatever you want. You're not detained. Come on, this stop is over. That's right, Billy. This stop is. There never was a stop. You know what I'm saying? He voluntarily pulled over and consented to basically everything happening. You know, I mean, granted, he was technically stopped, probably unlawfully with the lights. But the point is just they've basically made no legitimate effort to conduct a traffic stop at any point in this interaction so far.
Stop touching my car. Stop touching my car. Stop touching my car.
Nobody's touching your vehicle.
Get in your vehicle and leave.
It's all right. So right now we're telling you, like, Ron, this is a highway. You gotta
Leave.
race the other people.
Leave.
The highway.
Leave my car.
John Smith, you're fucking retarded if you think that, dude. And if you think that that's a justification for curbing people's civilian or civil rights, you're retarded. Stop. Just stop with this stupid logic.
You want what?
You want to talk to your supervisor?
You want what?
Sir,
Am I still being detained?
C2-237.
It's okay, George. You don't, I mean, look, if you have a different opinion in mind, that's fine. But if you come in here and say that opinion, I'm going to tell you you're wrong. So it's not, I don't take offense with you disagreeing with me whatsoever. And you're free to do that, but you're also going to hear my opinion of that.
Do not step out of the vehicle. Step back in the vehicle. Get back in the vehicle. You are not detained. You can leave.
Move away from me. Move away from me.
Get back in the vehicle. Get back in the vehicle. You are not detained. You can.
You hear that? You hear he's telling him like, this is what you remember when we were critiquing Destiny the other day and how we were saying that an officer just telling you you're not detained doesn't mean that they aren't detaining you. This is exactly that situation. Okay. They're telling him that he's not detained, but they're also doing everything that they can do to create a detainment through a de facto process. They're creating the conditions of a detainment and then telling him that he's not detained. You know, this is a prime example of that happening and why Destiny's logic in that video was so stupid.
Please move away from me. Move away from me. Move
Do not
away.
step out of the vehicle.
Move
Sir, I
away
should
from
have
me.
gone.
Move
Do not
away.
step out of the vehicle.
Move
Sir,
away
I should
from
have
me.
gone over there. You have a gun over
I'm
there.
not
That's-
detained. I'm not
Sir,
detained.
for your safety and my safety, do
I'm
not
safe.
reach. Do
I'm
not
completely safe. I'm
yeah,
completely
okay, but
safe.
do not reach for the gun.
You need to leave right now.
Yeah, but you don't reach for
You
the
need to
gun.
leave right now. You know where the gun is. Where are my hands? I'm not detained.
No, you're not. You need to go.
Okay, you need to
Right,
leave.
stepping out of there right now, you're gonna put in danger traffic. We're trying to avoid
I'm
that.
on the shoulder. I'm on the shoulder.
So you can pull over to the side if you want to, but I'm in the middle of the highway. Right now, you're endangering the public.
Now he's completely off the roadway. And he just ran over that big stick. It's not against the law per se, but it is. I mean, well, yeah, it is against the law, especially if you're not a cop. But it is certainly a Fourth Amendment violation to detain you without legitimate probable cause or reasonable suspicion. And they've already said that they don't have that. They haven't met that standard by saying he's not detained. So, Fourth Amendment violation. How long are they just going to sit here and watch this guy? This is 8x speed. There's already been like 15 minutes passed by. Well, shout out to Corners News for handling that. I mean, that was a really good. I mean, I think he handled that very well, to be honest. And it was that was a weird interaction. And man, the balls it takes to just drive off from cops like that when they tried to stop you. I mean, I don't even know what you would call that. To me, it looked like a pretty consensual encounter. But yeah, ballsy. Shout out to Corners News for that. That cop is a nutcase. All right, let's keep it moving. I'm gonna do another body cam. I know I'm moving kind of quick today, but just want to get, we haven't done any body cam reviews in a few, we've only reviewed a few body camera videos in the past, like 3 or 4 streams. So I think it's important that we get some more in there. Yeah, I will say that Corners, he's lucky something even crazier didn't happen there. But I think that a lot of the way that happened was because he was dealing with Border Patrol agents, and they're usually not very well versed in traditional law enforcement in the patrol capacity. So that probably led to a lot of the weirdness of that interaction, and you know, probably also contributed to them saying he's detained while he's not detained, or he's not detained while he is detained, or whatever, you know. Yeah, they were Border Patrol agents. So, you know, that just makes it weird when you're dealing with federal agents in a patrol capacity, because it's not something they typically do. All right, let's jump into the next one. I got this one from BPcast channel a while back. So shout out to BPcast. And this one, I didn't watch all of it, but I did watch the first few minute or so of it, and it was really interesting. So let's talk about it. First of all, I want to point out right here, we can see exactly where this happened and when. So it was March 31st, 2024, and it happened at 27946 Home Farm Drive in Millsboro, Delaware.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How are
I'm
you?
Corporal Blatt with the Millsboro Police Department. The reason why we're making contact, some lady came out to report that you've been sitting out here for over 4 hours.
Okay.
And we're just trying to find out what the deal is, what's going on.
Just sitting here minding my business, not doing anything.
You got any credentials?
I'm not going to provide that just because of a call. Burnville, Texas.
You told her that you're correct?
Yeah, that's what I told her.
Okay. Do you have any credentials?
Yeah, but I don't want to provide that right now.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Because it's optional, and I just don't want to provide it right now.
What's that?
Because it's optional.
If you have to provide credentials to what you're going on, and you have to report it to the dispatch center that you're out here.
No, but I didn't tell you that I would.
I think the word that's being censored out here is private investigator. Because that's about the only profession that I could see being in a place and being required to report to the police department. But also, that's usually a misconception. There generally is not a statutory requirement to report to a police department if you are a private investigator. I've covered a few different interactions where we've explored this, and I've yet to be able to find a statute that said that. Now, I'm not saying they don't exist, but at least in the previous interactions I've covered involving private investigators, they typically do not have to report to the local police department. Could also be an insurance inspector, but I think they're saying private investigator.
Told her I was.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you that I'm one.
Well, this is private property, man.
This what is private property?
What is private property?
This roadway here?
This road is private property.
How is this road private property?
Because it is. It's a development. It's run by the HOA.
Where's the signs that says private property? There's no signs that says trespassing there. There's a public street, and there's no signs that says private parking there or private property. There's absolutely no signs. There's none.
Okay, but here's the thing. This may ruffle some feathers in the chat, but this is just the reality of the situation, as far as I understand it anyway. It is entirely possible for an HOA to be private property. And unfortunately, Sandy, I think you're wrong about this. It doesn't have to have a gate to be considered private property. Now, what the situation could be is that, I'll just put it to you this way. In private developments like subdivisions, where the roads are developed by the person who built the neighborhood, they also built the road. That is certainly private property. Okay. Now they can't, if there is no gate to get in or no signs that say no trespassing, then you essentially have an implied consent to be on that property, just like you would at a public parking lot of a mall or walking up to someone's doorstep. You do have an implied consent, but it is not public property just because it is a road that the public uses. That can definitely be private property, and your implied consent can be revoked by someone who has the authority over that property. And generally, in cases like this, it would have to be an HOA. So if there's a representative from the HOA who is wanting this guy to leave, and this is a private subdivision where the roads are privately owned and maintained by the owner, there could certainly be a situation where you could be trespassed from that. Let's see. That's not always true. I've lived in a couple of states where the developer was required to put in the roads that ended up public roads. It was part of the cost of developing in those areas. That's true. And there certainly could be some local specific guidelines or rules or zoning things that may play a role. And generally a structure like that is more so meant to, it's a trade-off for both the property owner and the city. They get to maintain the roadway. That's no longer the property owner's problem, but by that virtue, they then become public. But again, I think that the situation here, it's entirely possible that this is a private roadway that is owned privately by an HOA who has the power to revoke consent to be there at any time. Just like if you were to go to a mall, park your car, and then the mall said, hey, we don't want this guy here anymore. You were trespassed. You can be trespassed. All roads are not public roads.
There actually is probably out in the main entrance.
Where?
So I actually know where the HOA person lives.
Well, over there is probably private property, but not here.
This is a private property road.
This is not a private property road. This is accessible from the public. That's a public street there.
It might be accessed from the public, but this is private property.
Well, no one asked me
if HOA run development.
No one asked me to leave.
Okay. He said that it's a privately developed property and that the HOA is the one who controls the roads. If that's true, then someone from the HOA could probably trespass him from this property.
Hey, can I have your name, please?
Yeah, it's Officer Shockley.
Officer Shockley and Officer Bullock.
Oh, can I get a badge number?
1098.
Can I get a badge number?
1082.
1082, okay. Yeah. So if even...
Yes, the maintenance very well it could be a deciding factor in this. If it's maintained by the city, it probably is public, but we don't know that. And what's being claimed here right now is that that's not the case. If this is private property, then the roads are maintained by the property owners, not by the city. And if that's the case, then you only have an implied consent to be there.
If it's private property, the owner has to ask me to leave, and this is a public street. Okay. I already did a GIS survey. I already did it.
We can also remain out here.
Right. I don't believe that a resident could do that, Fairlane. It would have to be someone who actually owns the property. With the street, that is, which would be the HOA. Now, if you went into if he was parked in their yard, then yeah, the property, the homeowner could trespass them from there. But to be trespassed from the street, which is owned privately by the HOA, then it would require the HOA to do the trespassing. I mean, we can just look it up. I'll play it. We've got the address right here.
And
so I'll look it up while we play it.
Your investigation. So
it's a free country. I mean,
you're right.
Of course, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm not gonna.
What she's worried about, she has a child that's out here, and people abduct kids.
But did she accuse me of that? Did she accuse me of abducting anyone?
No, but she's worried about it. It's a safety.
I'm worried about a lot of things too, but I don't be calling the cops on people for every little issue. If there's no crime, unless there's a crime, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, your tag doesn't come back to anything, so I'm going to be running everything else.
So,
to find
if you
out.
don't mind me asking, what are you investigating?
Huh?
What are you investigating? Okay.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I just don't like to identify just because someone calls. You
I
understand that? I just don't like to identify just because someone called.
I
Brunfleet,
know.
Texas State, absent RAS. There's no probable cause for you guys to get my information. And that's the reason why I don't want to call. I know he's going to probably want some retribution because I know my rights.
All right. To be fair to this guy, I'm looking on maps right now, and I don't necessarily want to show this because you never know what kind of location information I might share by showing you this. But there don't appear to be any signs outside of this subdivision anywhere indicating that it is there's no implied consent. But at the same time, it definitely looks like private roads. It is almost certainly private roads. Just judging by the way that this the layout is set up and the way that these roads look and are named. Again, we'd have to look up the GIS. That would take a long time to do to actually determine whether or not this is private, but it looks private.
But I'm not asking that lady to identify. I gave her a courtesy of telling her what I'm doing here when she approached me, and I thought that was the end of it, but apparently not. I didn't have to. I could have stayed silent and not say a single word, right? And it's my right not to identify.
Why she's concerned.
I have a lot of concerns too, but if I'm not breaking the law, right? Should I identify?
Did he say he looked at the GIS?
Apparently not. Absent RAS.
You're right. Yeah.
Disrespectful, but I'm not gonna.
What she's worried about, she has a child that's out here, and people abduct kids.
But did she accuse me
worried
of?
about that?
Did she accuse me of abducting anyone?
No, but she's worried about it. It's a safety.
I'm worried about a lot of things too, but I don't be calling the cops on people for every little issue. If there's no crime, unless there's a crime, right?
You're right. Yeah.
Well, your tag doesn't come back to anything, so I'm going to be running everything else.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what are you?
Didn't see that. Even still, I still have my doubts that I don't believe that he concluded the accurate. I'll say this. I still think that this is private. Even if he said he looked at the GIS, I'm not going to just take this guy's word for it. This looks certainly like a private subdivision on Google Maps. I mean, I'll try to see if I can find the GIS.
What are you investigating? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just don't like to identify just because someone calls. You understand that? I just don't like to identify just because someone called. Brunfleet, Texas State, absent RAS. There's no probable cause for you guys to get my information. And that's the reason why I don't want to call. I know he's going to probably want some retribution because I know my rights. But
Okay, apparently in order to access the GIS, the official GIS for Sussex County, you have to fill out a form and email it to them. I'll see if I can find it through another source.
I'm not asking that lady to identify. I gave her a courtesy of telling her what I'm doing here when she approached me, and I thought that was the end of it, but apparently not. I didn't have to. I could have stayed silent and not say a single word, right? And it's my right not to identify.
Why she's concerned.
I have a lot of concerns too, but if I'm not breaking the law, right? Should I identify? Should I just give up my Fourth Amendment rights?
Well, no one's asked you for your information.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
That officer did.
Well, you don't have to give it to him.
I know, but you heard what he said just now.
What?
I have your tags. I'm going to run your information. I'm going to run everything. Just because I invoked my rights. You think that's fair? I'm not doing anything
you're parked
wrong.
on a public street.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily fair. I don't think it's necessarily fair for them to run his information, but at the same time, I think that that is an appropriate thing to do because isn't that the least intrusive means of getting the information they want? The thing about it is that your tag number is public information, and they can just say whenever they want that it is or they can just run your tag whenever they want and get any kind of information back out of that. And honestly, in situations where the choice is give your ID or us figure it out on our own, I prefer them to do their own damn investigation, you know? So I don't think it's necessarily crazy for them to go find out his information based on the available resources they have. That's better than them forcing him to identify himself unlawfully. And there's nothing illegal about them finding out that information that way.
A lot of people park in the public street. That car's parked in the public street.
So you're right. It's a public roadway. So you can park here. We're more concerned about what's going on.
Yeah, but I dispelled your fears.
Yeah,
I said
you're right. Okay.
what I'm doing. You guys have the tag, so no, you know, right? And not a single person reported a crime. They're just a suspicious car. Suspicion is not a felony or a misdemeanor.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
That's why we made contact with you.
Exactly. I'm talking to you, right? I didn't have to say a word. I could have just stayed silent the entire time, but I'm not that type of rude person who just doesn't say anything. We're all humans, right? So I prefer to just communicate a little bit, but I'm not gonna give up my rights just because of her fears. At no point in time did I trespass on anyone's property. I stayed in my car. This is the safest place I can be.
Yeah, and I told you why we made contact with you.
I heard you.
Okay.
I heard you.
So,
yeah, but
do you have any questions?
yeah, am I gonna be is there gonna be some sort of retribution just because they invoked my rights by this guy here? I understand. You sound reasonable. You sound like a professional, honestly. There are not too many cops who are professional like you and level-headed.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right, I want to show you guys something. Now,
you're
look,
right. It seems like you know your
2025
laws.
roads
Yeah,
are
I'm very
listed
much
as
aware.
public. Please cite your source for that, because what I'm looking at here, I don't see that. It looks to me like there is actually a delineation for where this. I'll just show you guys what I'm looking at. So this is the subdivision where this took place. I know this is small, but this is what I can do. If you look here, you can see that there's this gray line delineating a distinction here. It crosses the road, continues up this property line, doesn't cross the road here, makes a sharp turn here. See how there's no line where this road goes in? No line along this intersection anywhere? But it does cross here. And it doesn't do that on the other side. That makes me think that this is probably private property. This is the subdivision where he's parked in. It would be nice if this was clickable. In a typical GIS survey, these lines would be a delineation between different private properties. So you could probably see that in some of these houses. Like, you see how these houses are squared off? That's essentially delineating what property is assigned or where the property lines are to this property. And it looks like there's one that's delineating this road as a separation from the public roadway. But of course, we can't know that because unfortunately this is not an official GIS survey, and we can't access the county's survey because you have to put in an application for that for whatever reason. Rob says, John, I'm using Regrid and it is a privately owned road. That's what I suspected. I'm not surprised. And I think that those lines probably delineate that. And look, these cops can say all day that that this is a public road, whatever. They can agree or disagree with him, but I'm not just going to trust that these cops know that. They can say it all day. Cops are not the dictators of what is public and what isn't. And sometimes they're wrong. So I'm pretty sure that this actually is private property. And if someone from the HOA came and asked him to leave, he would be required to do so.
But no, we're good to go as long as you don't have any more questions.
Yeah. And you can be very firm, not disrespectful to either of you. I just want to invoke my rights and be left alone because I will try to tell people, okay, if in my neighborhood someone parks a car, they're there for several hours, of course I'd be concerned, right?
Yeah.
But what I would do is just document their license plate number, take a picture of the car, but I'm not going to call the cops on someone for no reason.
Yeah.
You know, if I see them trying to sneak into someone's property, well, that's a different story, right? Mm-hmm. But someone just sitting in their cars, you know, I got to understand their fears can't trump people's rights, you know, to just be here on a public street.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
I have to agree with that. Everything you said there. Like, I hate the idea that people are just calling the cops because something's strange. Okay? Save your cop calling for when you witness a crime. Stop calling the cops on people because they're acting weird. Okay? Being weird is not a crime. All right? And if you have no reason to think a crime is happening, don't call the cops.
Wouldn't do that to your son. I mean, I'm just assuming you have a son or whatever. No matter what color they are, I wouldn't do it. And maybe that's something that people need to be aware of, you know?
Yeah, but you have to understand the day and time we're in.
Listen, it's always been danger from way back then to now. We're in the safest times we've ever been in right now with the level of security that we have. Okay, yeah. Things were worse back then. We have a lot of security. There are cameras everywhere. The minute you call a cop, they're here.
That doesn't mean things don't happen.
No, things do happen. Don't get me wrong. But nothing is happening here, right? And things happen everywhere. So we can't be calling you guys for every single little thing. Imagine if everyone did that. You guys would be stretched thin, right? From one call to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Imagine.
Can't agree with him more. I mean, he's basically just reiterating exactly what I said. Yeah.
Nah. We got to be rational and think about when we call the cops, man, instead of wasting resources like this. Say, ma'am, hey, do you have the license plate number? We have the tags, and we'll send an officer just to drive by and observe. And I think that's how it.
I mean, I like that. I think that that's a totally legit approach that he's offering here, and that probably is what should have happened. Especially since no one from the HOA is, as far as I know, no actual representative from the HOA has been involved in this so far. So why not just pull up and observe?
Should be.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, I hope you agree and understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. But I'm gonna get out of here. Okay.
I appreciate you, man. All right. Do you have a car? Can I get the CAD number? I want to request that 911 call and hear exactly what that person said.
So they came to our police department.
Oh, they actually came all the way there? Yeah. Huh. Well, the incident number then, so I can...
That's so weird. Why? Okay, so she saw someone, or they, I don't know if it was a male or a female. They saw someone outside of their home in a car, thought it was weird, and drove to the police station? What? What the hell?
Thank you.
Did they say it was a woman? Okay. I thought I heard that, but I didn't want to assume. Yeah, they said she has kids. That's right. They were worried about the kidnapping thing.
All right. 24. All right. Thanks for your professionalism. I'm surprised she actually went to you guys because normally I never tell them what I'm doing. I gave her that courtesy and she still went. So you see the reason why I don't talk to them? I don't tell anyone why I'm here.
I was thinking that same thing, Scott, that these guys look like state troopers, but if you see right here, it says Williamson or something to that effect. So I think they aren't. I don't think they are state police. I think that they just look like their uniform just looks like that. It's a nice uniform.
They call the cops regardless. It's a waste of time.
Yeah, she's been watching too many true crime. Right. That's true.
Well, you have a good one.
You too, man.
Oh, we're not done with this yet. It looks like somebody does come from the HOA. Or somebody. All right, let's get to that part. Oh, so wait, that might just be the one who called the cops. Why are those kids wearing Halloween costumes? It's fucking March. All right, let's get to. Okay, so she's coming to
There's a lot
talk.
of attention in front of my house. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just wondering why all this attention in front of my house. I don't feel.
I gave you the courtesy by telling you what I was doing here to dispel any fears, and yet you still went and called the cops on me. I'm gonna. You just said you went there. You're the only person who I told what I was doing, so it is you.
No, I told my neighbors that that's why you were here, because we've all talked.
Well, I'm not doing anything illegal, and I didn't even have to tell you what I was doing. I could have stayed quiet, left my windows up, and not said a word to you. But I chose to be respectful to you because I saw you had a kid. Let you know why I was here, but still they called the cops on me. This is the reason why I never tell anyone what I'm doing.
I can't speak for what other people do.
Right.
I wasn't even home. I left and I'm here, and then I got two cop cars in front of my house.
Domino effect. You told someone, and someone went and reported me. So
That's what a neighborhood does. We take care of each other. Who's
well, you could say, well, here he's here for a good reason.
I think that this lady's lying. I think that she's saying she didn't go, but she said she left her house, and I bet she drove her ass right to the police station like that cop said.
At least that's what he said. Let's just take a picture of his car.
We got little girls. We got kids. And
I got kids in my neighborhood too, and I don't call the cops on people who park there. And you know what I do? I take note of the car, take a picture and document the license plate number and a watch.
Yeah.
There's no crime until there's a crime.
So what you'll need to do, and here's the problem. This is a private roadway, but the only thing is what he's saying. If the HOA has signs up saying that it's private property,
yeah,
or soliciting, we actually, if we had that up there and signs were on there, we could actually pull them out of the car and lock them up. Remember the trust that.
No, you couldn't. I don't think you could. He would have to be put on notice that he's not allowed to be there. And I think that it would be, I don't know, maybe it's very different per state as far as the authority of a no trespassing sign. But I highly doubt that would be the case. They would have to know that he is trespassing. And they don't know that. Even with the call of someone saying someone's parked in front of my house, they don't know that he is trespassing until they confront him about it.
Can't do that. You'd have to give me the opportunity to leave.
We don't have the signs up there. There's nothing that we can do to take action right now.
Mom, let me tell you.
How did this cop? Okay. He went to get he almost got the right information. He was almost there. You know what I'm saying? I still think that if he had just put together that if someone who owns the property tells him to leave, then he would have to leave. That would be the appropriate thing to say. Yeah, he was real close to being right, and then he just fucked it up at the end.
How trespassing works. You'd have to give me the opportunity to leave, okay?
Exactly.
And he said he would pull me out of the car. You see what?
No, I exactly
You
said.
see what
We
happens?
would have to give you the chance to leave.
You see what happened? No, he didn't. What was his words exactly? We could have pulled him out of the car.
Let me.
But I'm just saying, you see why you
We
don't
would have
call
to let
cops?
you know and find out what's
Because
going on and why you're
ignorance
here
is
and
bliss, and people like this cause harm to innocent people like me who are doing nothing wrong by pulling me out. And I will sue their department from now till to the end of time, okay? Especially
Sir,
him.
I misstated the term, okay? What I said, we would make contact with you, okay? And then if you refused to leave, then we would take action.
That is the correct procedure
I'm
right there,
sorry,
not
I'm
yank
sorry.
me out of the car.
I'm sorry.
All right, there's a proper procedure. I'm very well aware of all the procedures, okay? So that's why certain things can't fly by me. I know my rights.
I just want my daughter to come outside and
And
feel
I-
safe
yeah,
in our front yard. That's all I'm asking of you right now. That's the only thing I'm asking is for her to be. This is where they play. There's all this street here. will you please, with all
Will I
the
please
courtesy,
what?
just move there and you.
And then what? Have that neighbor call? when I'm right down here and you're aware of what I'm doing?
I don't understand how that's an actual solution. If she's so concerned about him spying on her kids or wanting to take them or whatever, how is moving a few feet down the road going to change his ability to do that? That makes no sense. It seems like she just is annoyed that this guy's parked in front of her house and is using her kids as a token to get this guy moved.
Outside over there.
What difference would it make if I park on the other side of the street opposite your house? How does that make you feel safer? Can you just explain that to me?
Exactly.
She doesn't want to come out. I talked to her about stuff, and it's just.
Mom, please teach your daughter the law and people's rights and tell them I'm not here to cause them any harm, okay?
It's not.
I didn't even want to.
I'm not saying we don't know who you are.
I don't know who she is. What if she has a body in her basement right now? Do you know that?
No.
Okay, I don't know that.
Listen to me as a mom. You see, you're.
I'm a father, okay?
Well then, or
So,
as a father, listen
yes.
to me as a mom speak. I'm a mom, is what I'm saying. I know what you are.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, my child came home, and she's got 2 police cars. She's asking me who the car is. She heard me ask you who you were.
Lady, you're the reason there's 2 cars there. You're the reason that this is all happening.
You said who you were. I've got neighbors calling me, asking me who's that in front of your house. So they think it's me. And I calmed them by saying what it was. Well, nobody wants the girls to come outside and play because of all the wrong in the world. Not saying that you're doing it, but we'd be dumb if we.
I hate this perspective. And please teach people you know to act better than this. The world is a fucked up place. All right, there's a lot of shit going on in the world, okay? But that's not an excuse to start trampling on people's rights in order to feel safe. What's that quote, the famous quote that we all know? Those who will sacrifice their rights, or those who will embrace tyranny out of fear. What is it? If you don't, it's something like if you let your rights go out of fear, you won't have any, is essentially the idea of the quote. Someone surely knows that quote. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I'm not thinking of it right now. But the point is, we can't let our fears of how the world works dictate how we legislate our rights that we have. Okay. Yeah, we can't. Yes, that's it. Those who sacrifice their rights, their freedom for security, deserve neither. Yeah, there we go. The full quote. Ben Franklin. A legend, if you will. There you go. This I think this quote encapsulates this woman's entire perspective right here and why it is so flawed.
Just sent our daughters out here all willy-nilly to be snatched in a car.
Okay.
So now my daughter is nervous to come outside. That's all I'm standing here saying to you now because you're parked here.
Sure.
And that's abnormal for this neighborhood.
It's abnormal for.
So a lot of the abnormal, it's weird, I'm scared, none of that means anything. That sounds like a bunch of personal problems that this lady has. That is totally irrelevant to everything happening here.
A car to be parked with someone just sitting in the car.
Yes.
Let me ask you.
For 3 hours, yes.
All right, let me
Yes,
ask you a
sir.
question now.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question now. You know what the Bill of Rights is?
I know exactly what it is.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Maybe you should teach your daughters about the Bill of Rights and people's right to do this, okay? And not only that, hold on. The cops came. Whoever called the cops, they came. Would she feel safer now that they came, they made contact, and they're about to leave, and I'm still here?
No,
Why wouldn't she feel safer?
Feel uncomfortable because there's a man she doesn't know as far as she's concerned, just sitting in.
I think that this is right. Very astute observation. And I think that this is probably the best way to handle this in Deanna's shoes here. Just ask him, how long are you going to be here, man? I have a daughter that wants to come outside and she's not comfortable playing with somebody just sitting in the front yard. And that's a totally reasonable thing to feel. And I'm not saying that it's crazy for her to think that. But to call the cops and try to force this guy to leave by government action is not the appropriate way to approach this situation.
In the car for nothing.
You know why that logic doesn't work? Because a lot of cars drive through here.
Just sit there. I'll call them and tell them you're watching it, and then they won't do anything, so it'll be a waste of everybody.
I'm not watching at your kids. Are you serious?
It was already a waste of everyone's time.
Maybe you can go home to your family on Easter, so my daughter can have a peaceful Easter.
And it's quick. All right, it's going to require more than that. That might be the end of the video, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dad getting pissed off about it now. Yep, that's the end. All right, well, just a quick recap. First of all, you can totally be trespassed from private subdivisions. That is a thing. Not all roads are public roads. And it's entirely unreasonable to call the police on people who are acting weird. Okay? Please, like I said before, reserve your cop calling for crimes or legitimate emergencies. Someone being weird is something you can handle on your own. You don't need the cops to handle it. I think that we've just gotten to a point in our society where people are so conditioned to call the cops for literally any problem that they have. It's almost like the cops are supposed to be the problem solvers for every little thing. What is this in the sky right here? Hold on a second. Am I spotting a UFO right now? What is this? You guys see that? What is that? Oh, it's a bird. It's a bird. It looked kind of weird when it was like flying head on. That looked kind of weird. This is how bad I want aliens to be real, guys. Yeah, it's the government drone. We all know birds aren't real. That's the government drone coming in and spying on. They probably sent the drones after this guy. That's what was going on. They're landing to pick up the cop. That was funny. I don't know what her badge said, and I don't care. I'm not interested in denigrating that woman. She did plenty of that on her own. All right, I got one more. Oh shit! I got one more police interaction before we get into a different type of interaction or a different type of video. So let's hop into this one, get through it, and then we'll do something a little bit different, a little more fun. I haven't seen this video, by the way. This comes to us from Lazarus's channel, and it's just clowning cops, and he tagged a bunch of First Amendment auditors. So don't know anything about this just yet. We may play some chess or something like that. We'll see.
Statement from you?
Can you start that sentence over?
Sure. If you are wanting to be a victim of a crime, I'm going to take a recorded statement from you.
And can that be anonymous? Why can't a victim statement be anonymous? You know that that's not true. You know it's not.
Are you ready to let me talk or no?
Okay.
Okay. So there has to be a couple things on a report in order for me to press charges. I have to have a suspect and a victim for this to go through the court system.
You can have anonymous victims.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, you can. What do you do for Jane Doe's?
Yeah, So you're telling me that when you write a police report for a grape victim, that you just plaster their name all over that? There are plenty of situations that would warrant filing a criminal complaint with the complaining party being anonymous. And I couldn't imagine that being a hiccup in filing a report. And I believe that there's probably some sort of mechanism for this in the police department. Like, for example, they'll take your certain amounts of your information. For example, they won't put your name on the report, but they will still put your phone number, for example. I just can think of a million different ways why you would have the need to file an anonymous criminal complaint. And I can't imagine that you wanting to file it anonymously just absolves the person of a potential crime that they committed.
A victim of a crime is not a Jane Doe.
Well, a Jane Doe can be a victim of a crime. Would you not investigate that crime if it's a Jane Doe? You're not going to win it.
Exactly.
I mean, I will provide it, but just tell me that you're asking for it because it's not required. Just be honest with me. That's all I'm
I'm
asking.
asking for it because you are reporting a crime occurred, which means that your name needs to be on my report as either the victim or the reporting party if you would like me to pursue charges.
That sounds like a protocol, but again, you don't just get to not do your job because of a protocol. I just, even outside of the lawful aspects of this, like whether or not this would be breaking any kind of law, but I can't imagine you not being able to report a crime, especially if you're the victim of that crime, just because you don't want to give them your name. Ridiculous. Why am I losing signal here?
But I know that's not true.
Okay. and
Is
you
there a
have your own
supervisor?
feelings. Yeah, he's on scene right now.
Can I speak
What's
to
your
him?
first name?
May I speak to him? My name is Brian.
Brian, how do you
Yeah.
spell that?
Brian.
And your middle name, Brian?
May I speak with the supervisor, please?
He's busy speaking.
Okay, I'll just wait to speak to him. I'll just wait to speak for him. I don't appreciate you getting like an
I haven't
attitude with
even-
me. You have. You've lied to me. He's lied to me a bunch of times. Okay, I just don't. I would like to be treated with respect, and I don't feel this. No, you either do or you do not. Like Yoda.
She's being a condescending bitch right now. And yeah, that's not how you get people to cooperate.
Right?
I need your name and date.
Well, I would like to confirm that with your
because you would
supervisor.
also then be subpoenaed in that court to
I would
give
like to-
your
I would just like to
testimony, and I cannot subpoena you without your name and date of birth.
I would like to confirm that with your supervisor.
Certainly, we'll just stand right here and wait for him then.
Wow, so professional. So professional of her. I mean, he's not being belligerent. He's not being an asshole, anything like that. And she's just so butthurt about it. Get over yourself, bitch.
Are you so angry?
I'm doing my job.
It shows. You're very angry. I hope you find peace. There's no need for this.
He's like, wait, can we take it a report without getting their name? And he's like, yeah, dude, obviously.
I asked him multiple times, back away from me. Back away, back away, back away. Is that the supervisor? Hey, are you this? Can I speak to him?
Not right now, he's busy.
And I'm speaking to you like a human. Can you speak to me like I'm a human?
I answered your question.
Well, yeah, but you just got an attitude. You don't speak to people like human. You speak to people like subjects, and I'm not your subject.
Wow, that was a really good way to characterize how she was acting, because that she is talking to him like he's a subject, not a person.
He's busy right now.
Okay. What's your name and badge number?
Officer Place 124.
Okay. How long have you worked here?
That's none of your business.
I'm just trying to make small talk.
Well, I'm not gonna make conversation with you either.
Why?
We're gonna just stand here and wait for my supervisor.
Is this how you treat the victims of crimes? That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. How long have you worked here? I'm just talking to you, man.
Yeah,
You wanted to go to work, right?
I do. Yeah, but I don't feel comfortable asking questions because can you read me my rights?
no.
Why? Do I have the
We're
right to
not gonna
remain
talk at all.
silent?
Right now, we're gonna just wait for our supervisor.
Yeah.
They don't have to read you your, just so everyone knows, they don't have to read you your rights until you're actually in custody. So being asked to read your rights prior to any law enforcement action being taken is, don't do that. It's uncalled for.
Am I being detained?
Yes.
For what?
Well,
For what crime?
Why is he detained if he's trying to report a crime?
Can you tell me again? Because everything I've said and everything you guys are going to see on the camera shows that I'm the victim
then
here.
you need to allow us to do that investigation.
So why am I, the victim, being prevented from going to work?
Because you need to, yeah, go ahead.
We're in the process of determining that you are the victim, but right now, I don't have the full story.
Why am I being surrounded while he's literally not? He's just allowed to sit there.
So, like I said.
Why am I being surrounded like a criminal while he's literally just sitting there?
Because you're offering the most resistance to us right now.
Resistance, I'm the victim. What?
And what is he like? What degree of resistance has he offered? He just hasn't given them his name. That's not resistance.
Resistance.
You're not willing to provide that information to us right now.
What am I
What we're gonna
resisting?
do,
I
Ryan,
don't
is
have.
We're gonna just wait for my supervisor because you've requested to speak to him, and we're going around in circles and not getting
I'm in
anywhere
so much
with you.
pain, dude.
So, okay, would you like an ambulance?
No, I would like to speak to this guy.
Okay,
He
well,
looks like
I'm
he's.
not gonna allow you to do that right now.
Dude, why are you so rude?
I don't know why that's rude. I'm just telling
You,
you.
you just
directly.
are. You have a rude demeanor.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that that's.
You don't need to be
coming
like
off
that.
like
Thank
that.
you for being at least respectful.
We're gonna wait for my
Thank you.
supervisor for your request.
Yeah. Hey, are you the supervisor?
I am not, but I can tell you what's going on.
Please do.
All right, so you're going to be trespassed from the property.
Okay.
And that's going to be good for a year.
Okay.
Okay, these folks do not want to pursue charges against you for disorderly conduct, which they certainly could. You are not going to be pursuing charges for assault because you are the aggressor in all this. So bottom line is you're being trespassed.
Can I leave?
And that, yep, well, they got to
No,
issue you
no.
some paper.
Okay, how did he know that? How did he just gather all that information? Did he go watch cameras? I mean, we don't know. This recording started in the middle of nowhere, but it looked like he just concluded all of that information from the other guy he was talking to, and potentially the staff. Again, I don't know. It seems like a weak amount of evidence for this type of behavior.
He just said, yeah. Dude, why?
They have to issue you some paper first. So we're going to get your information. They're going to issue you a trespass notice, and then you can leave. Okay, it'll just be.
Nope, that's not how that works anywhere. Unless we're in Canada right now, which we very well could be. I don't know, but you do not have to give up your ID so that they can issue you a trespass notice. What they want when they're doing that is they want to be able to fill out a report for the department and issue a trespass notice, give them a copy, but that's not, there's no legal obligation for you to adhere to the police department's protocol. Generally, trespassing laws just say you have to be given a notice. It doesn't say that you're detained in that process. It doesn't say that you have to sacrifice your identification. None of that. A trespass notice simply means, hey, you can't come back here. That's the trespass notice. There's no paperwork beyond that.
Another 10 minutes.
Brian, what's your middle name?
Am I required to provide
Yes,
it?
you are, because you're being trespassed.
You're not
I know that you
required.
can provide trespass warnings without a name. I know you can.
Yep.
What's your middle name?
And I would have left. I'm willing
We're
to
gonna
leave.
allow you to leave as soon as
So
I
then
print
I have
off
to
the
be
trespass notice
per
for you.
trespass. I have to be required You have to allow me to leave before that. It's a, yeah, you do.
Yes.
Our city attorney says that we're gonna trespass you while you're on the property. What's your middle name?
Well, your city attorney can say that all day, but you still have to follow the law when it comes to trespassing people. You don't just get to demand their ID, period. Can anyone tell where? Let's see. Hold on. No description. I wish that I could see this patch on her shoulder to figure out where this is. If I had this in my editing software, I'd be able to blow this up and figure out, where this is taking place. If anybody has any clues about that, let me know.
E.
How do you spell that?
You don't.
There we go. Plymouth. Oh, Plymouth Police. So this is in America.
Know how to spell the letter E, genius?
What does E stand for?
Edward.
How do you spell that?
Oh, come on.
I don't make assumptions anymore with names.
Let's try. D.
Yep.
I'm dyslexic.
Okay.
W.
Yep.
You got that?
I do.
A.
Yep.
Got that one?
Yep.
You sure?
Yep.
R.
Okay.
Okay. I don't see your writing.
Okay. What's D? I'm
Which
assuming?
letter are we on?
What's your last
Oh, I
name?
thought you don't assume. W.
He got her ass with that. I thought you don't assume. Got him.
Spell your last name.
I know you thought that was funny. You almost cracked a human smile. A.
Yep.
What letter are we on? What did I just give you?
I have a W and an A.
Okay, L. So I've given you W-A-L, right?
Correct.
E. That's W-A-L-E. Right?
She's seething
Wait,
right
we got
now.
W-A-L-E-N.
Oh, I love it. I love it. What do you call this when it's something aggressive compliance, something to that effect?
What do we got?
Malicious compliance. Yeah, there it is.
W-A-L-E-N.
Okay, and then D.
Yep.
What do we got now? I fell out there.
Oh, would you like an ambulance?
No, I'm okay. I just want to leave.
Okay.
What do we have? I forget.
W-A-L-E-N-D.
Why?
Perfect. What's
No,
your
why?
birthday?
I'm asking why. I'm just kidding, dude. Lighten up. 4/13/86. Lighten up. You got clown.
Oh, that's funny.
She got
Stay
clown.
here with my partners. I'll be right back with you.
She got clown.
She did get clowned.
Can I go?
She's gonna go print off her paperwork.
I don't really need it. Can I go? Can I go? I don't want the paperwork. Can I go?
Your trespass notice.
I don't want it.
This is
Can I go?
This is almost certainly an unlawful detention right now.
Can I wait out here?
You're gonna get your trespass notice.
For what?
So we're done.
For what? Can I just go? She got all my info. She got my info. Can I go?
Nope.
Why? What am I being detained for, supervisor? What's your name and badge number?
You're being detained because we were investigating this and we're gonna hand you.
What's your name and badge number?
Sergeant Durenberger, badge 99.
99.
Yep.
Good year.
Yep.
Matrix came out that year.
Sure did. Badass movie.
Why do you guys treat people like animals?
Well, you could be getting charged with disorderly conduct.
I'm just asking.
So,
I could.
yeah.
Dude, I salted their sidewalk for them.
Okay. Doesn't change the fact that your behavior meets qualifications to be charged with disorderly conduct.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. If you're not going to charge him with disorderly conduct, you've already told him that you're not going to, and that no one wants to press charges on him for disorderly conduct. You can't just keep detaining him for a crime that you have no intention of charging him with.
I just want to go to work.
Okay, we'll get you out of here in just a couple minutes.
All right.
You're good. Good.
Just so you guys know, it's not me that I don't have the closed captions turned off. YouTube is having an internal bug with the closed captions. They're not working right now. You talking about on my end? I could try it, but they weren't working for me earlier anyway. It looks like they're fixed.
What's your name and badge number?
Erickson 139.
Erickson 139. Your turn.
McLaughlin 178.
I got yours. Oh, did I? No.
Goldman 93.
Cool.
It's really
93 was a better
distracting.
year than 99. Let's see. Yeah, what came out that year? Well,
Let's get to the part where they give him the paper.
Yeah, but I can't. I got my jacket on now. I don't want to vape in there.
It's a nice leather jacket.
Thank you.
Piece of paper.
Or
So we can document that in our report.
please do. Is there any?
I want to hear what he says here.
My back hurts from falling right there. Is there any way to follow up on that with you guys, or?
So we can document that in our report.
Please do.
But,
Yeah.
But past that, it's a civil thing. We'd like.
Yeah,
to do
I
a
would just
civil
like that
suit.
documented because
We
Just
can.
on your way in, you slipped and fell, or?
I was headed back out to my car, and that little center part with all that green stuff that I put there was not like that. And so I fell right on my tailbone. It hurt real bad.
Yeah.
And then I went in. I said, "Hey, you guys should salt your sidewalks." And they said, "We're working on it," while they sat on their asses. And I've done salting before. That is not what working on it looks like. So on my way out, I passed the salt bucket. I did it.
Okay, well, that seems like what the pretext for all of this unfolding was. He fell in their parking lot. He went inside and was like, "Hey, you guys really got to salt this." They were like, "Yeah, we'll do it." And then they just didn't. So he was like, "I'll fucking do it then." This is in Minnesota. And that's funny. I mean, the guy was just trying to do what the lazy employees wouldn't, and it turned into this.
So that's what kind of caused or started the whole incident here.
I'm not going to answer questions beyond that, but
That's fine. I was just curious.
I know that there is a reason that they do not want me looking like the good guy here.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, this is a copy of your trespass. You can't come back to the property in a year. If you do come back on the property within a year, you'll be arrested.
Hell yeah, just take it and leave. Oh, honestly though, I kind of feel like, granted, look, I don't know what this guy's experience is interacting with law enforcement, but I think that if you were an auditor or someone who considered themselves informed, that might have been a place to challenge them on that and to just walk away. But nonetheless, I think that this guy probably has a lawsuit on his hands. Either way. So again, that was a stupid encounter. It was just silly. So I got two videos here. Oop. And I'll let you guys choose which one you want to watch, because these are both kind of cool videos that are, I guess, outside the scope of what we typically what's up, Christy? Of what we typically cover, but still very interesting. So here's what we got. We can do this one, which is a video about one of these guys are an undercover cop. And the goal, I guess, through this video is to guess which one is the undercover cop. And to be fair, I don't know if they actually tell you beforehand or not, but I was thinking if they don't, then we can try to guess and see who the undercover cop is. And then we have this video. This is a video where Ben Jordan, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he kind of does a deep dive into AI police cameras and sort of the state of AI policing and how that works. So we can guess the cop, or we can do AI policing. And I guess we'll do a poll to see which one you guys want to do. Oh, yo, shout out to George. Thank you, George. It says super sticker on my end. Oh, okay. I see it now. It's a peach or a pear. That's a pear. Hopping up and down. Thank you for the $5, brother. I appreciate that, man. And thank you for the challenging opinions you've given me today. All right, poll time. Let's see. Do a poll. Start a poll. What to watch? And we can either do Guess the Cop or AI policing. Go for it. What do you guys want to watch? Let me know. It's 50-50. It's a close one. Get your vote in. Very close one. Oh, wait, are they not both an option? Oh, what? Oh, yeah, they are both an option. AI policing is getting ahead. Wow, that's surprising. I actually thought you guys would want to play Guess the Cop. Oh, it's coming back now. Okay, I'm going to have to leave this poll up for a second just to let people figure it out. We got 62 votes in there. If we get to like 75, 80 votes, that's when I'll end it. So we need like 10 more people. Let me know. What do you want to see? Guess the Cop, or we got Guess the Cop, or we got AI policing, Guess the Cop. We got 75 votes in. All right, I don't think that there's gonna be a, oh my gosh, you guys are bringing it down to the wire. It's so close. 3 votes could change it. Up. All right. AI policing wins. Oh, all right. Voting AI because your city is considering extending the permit for the AI license plate reading camera program. That's interesting. Rigged. Unfortunately, we probably won't have time for both, but we can still have the Guess the Cop for the next stream. Well,
if you're an American, you've been probably seeing a whole bunch of these things. And in some places, they're so common that you don't even notice them. They just blend into the background like they're trees or streetlights. And you've probably correctly assumed that they're recording traffic. They're also recording and logging license plates and using AI image recognition. But what if I told you that they are, in fact, not owned by your local police department or your local government, but are licensed to them by a third-party startup? And all of your vehicle's whereabouts are being tracked by a third-party data broker. What if I also told you that major retail chains are also using them, and they're combining your vehicle's whereabouts with your personal information, your shopping habits, and even your in-store behavior? And some
I've seen these things in parking lots before, and I just assumed they were cameras. I never knew that there was an AI component behind that.
Some of them are giving that information to law enforcement. And what if I told you that I just possibly may have come up with a way to break it?
I like that. Hell yeah, it's music. That's a
This
cool
Colorado
intro.
family was being driven to a shopping center in a stolen vehicle, and they would have gotten away with it without cutting-edge technology alerting police of their crime.
Nah, that was actually an OCR error.
Well, this New Mexico woman and her 12-year-old sister were driving to the park with a stolen license plate when AI-enhanced technology allowed police to,
That one was another computer vision error.
well, yet another car-thieving woman of color caught red-handed.
Nope, just a glitch. This situation keeps happening all over the country. Your tax dollars pay startups to rent AI superpowers to law enforcement. And then the following year, your tax dollars pay the lawsuit settlements when it doesn't work. Flock Safety is a startup that was founded in 2017 that specializes in developing and leasing security cameras that have AI capabilities such as license plate recognition and vehicle identification. And these security cameras feed into databases that law enforcement, private companies, and even private citizens can access and utilize. And if you
I'm telling you right now, Palantir is going to buy that startup so fast. I can't believe they haven't already sold to Palantir. But that's the future of this startup, where I'm telling you right now.
own a car in the United States, you have unquestionably been logged within one of these databases. It works like this. You drive past a Flock Safety camera and it records an image or video. An image segmentation model or something similar looks for the license plate itself, or a rectangle with some key identifiers like tail lights or a rear window. Once it is confident enough that it found a license plate, it sends a portion of the image to an OCR model, or optical character recognition, which is probably the most widely used type of AI for consumers. For example, it's used in PDFs or any type of automatic data entry, like scanning and cashing checks on your phone with your bank's app. AI like this typically uses a confidence level threshold. So if the OCR model is above, say, 90% sure that your license plate was read accurately, then the information is saved with a location and timestamp on it. It can also classify the make and model of your vehicle and note if there are any bumper stickers or add-ons or cosmetic damage on the vehicle. And this information as well gets stored to that database. A law enforcement officer can then run your license plate and see every single time that your vehicle has been tagged in the database. So if you're in a city that has a lot of these cameras, it pretty much has the same effect as secretly sticking a GPS device on your car.
Now imagine how bad this is. This actually is in a different country where there aren't, constitutional considerations to be had. Like for example, I think that South Korea is like the most surveilled country in the world. And I can only imagine how this kind of technology has been implemented in a bunch of different ways. And think about too, the fact that this could be used in ways that aren't necessarily police related. Like for example, a gym membership, like if let's say it's known by these companies that you drive a certain route every day that happens to pass by a certain gym. Well, it might be advantageous for someone like Facebook to buy that data so that they can send you an advertisement for that gym that you drive by every day. So there's, I guess, more considerations to be had beyond just the constitutional and lawful aspects of this, just in a privacy context as well.
Safety is also happy to provide service to businesses and homeowners associations, and those private clients often allow law enforcement to access the data from their cameras. Then there's the hot list. If law enforcement puts you on the hot list, they are notified every single time that Flock detects you. So it's kind of like having a police tail all day, every day, but without the pesky annoyances of requiring a judicial warrant to target and track a citizen who may not even be suspected of any sort of crime. So now you might be asking, what is there to stop, Texas law enforcement tracking women out of state who are suspected of getting illegal abortions? Or how would you prevent a jealous, abusive person who also happens to be a law enforcement officer from using the system to constantly track his ex-girlfriend and her new partner? Well,
and that has happened many times without AI technology. So you can only imagine how bad it would be with AI technology.
Fortunately, you wouldn't prevent it, because these are just two of the many examples of things that have actually already happened. Flock Safety has exhibited the usual hyper-aggressive startup behavior that we've all grown accustomed to.
What's up, Fairlane? What you got? This is my wheelhouse. I don't see what the problem is when every single American's PLL has already been stolen from the National Public Data Breach of 2024. We already lost the privacy law. I didn't know about this data breach, but it doesn't surprise me. I mean, I'm sure that literally every American's personal information is somewhere online in some capacity. I mean, we have to be the most valuable group of people to collect data on probably in the entire world. I mean, we spend more money than pretty much any other average citizen of any other country. So it makes sense.
Near Orlando, Florida, for example, they installed nearly 100 cameras on public roadways without even notifying the county. And this entire industry sales pitches police departments with their cherry-picked success stories. If we didn't live in a surveillance state, this old lady with dementia would have never been found. Or if it weren't for all these cameras, this homicide suspect would have never been taken off the streets and would still be murdering people right now. Had this license plate reader error not led to a mother and her young children being held at gunpoint, that family would have never received a $1.9 million settlement from Aurora, Colorado taxpayers. Weirdly, I couldn't find that example in any of their sales decks. From every single agreement that I've looked up and seen, the police department or local government do not own the camera, but pays for their installation, then rents them for an annual subscription fee.
My God.
And usually this is between $2,000 and $3,000 per camera per year.
Oh my God, what a horrible fucking business model. And you know, the only reason that they have this business model is because no one gives a shit what public funds are spent on. You know, they know that it doesn't fucking matter what they charge. People will just pay it because it's basically free money to the municipalities.
Year, but apparently there's been a recent price hike that has strained the budgets of some police departments. In all of these agreements, Flock Safety's liability policy is extremely tight and protects them against virtually all claims should something go wrong or an equipment or data error mislead an investigation. And one of the most amusing parts of this agreement is this section that is telling the police department to call 911 and not rely on Flock Safety services in the event of an emergency.
What the fuck? How can you use a service for a specific thing that explicitly tells you not to use it for that thing? You know what I mean? Who agreed to? Again, this is the kind of shit that you need to be participating in your local government about, because you could force your department to adopt policies that exclude this type of conduct.
Yikes. Civil communities, police departments, private businesses, and individuals are not allowed to sell, lease, lend, give away, auction, or otherwise transfer ownership of any of Flock's IP or hardware. At no given time are you allowed to decompile, disassemble, reverse engineer, modify, alter, tamper with, or even repair any of it. Later in this video, I'll be disassembling and somewhat reverse engineering some ALPR cameras, but not Flock. If I did have access to some of Flock's hardware sitting in a box right over there, my attorney advises me that showing you any of it would jeopardize the existence of this video as a whole.
Yeah, I think that that's probably true, because if they have in their usage rights, first of all, you're not the one who they're granting those usage rights to, so you don't even have a right to have the item. Much less take it apart and show everyone how it works. I feel like you're asking for a lawsuit if you do that.
Reason for this aggressive scaling is because the business model of companies like this is actually quite brilliant. They market themselves as public safety services licensing cutting-edge technology, but license plate readers and security cameras have existed for decades. Flock Safety and their competitors are data brokers. A city, police department, business, or homeowners association pays to borrow their cameras, and then they retain the right to make some of that data accessible behind the same licensing paywall scheme for other clients or customers. Andreessen Horowitz, who is the VC of choice for data brokers and big data startups like Databricks, Fivetran, Scale AI, and Golden, just to name a few, they've invested nearly $500 million into Flock Safety, adding another $275 million just a few months ago. These are data broker numbers. For example, ADT, the largest and most recognizable home security company and brand in the world, went public in 1969 and has a market cap of $6.8 billion. And that market cap is eclipsed by Flock Safety's recent F-Series valuation of nearly $8 billion. And it needs...
That is just literally insane. It's so wild how tech companies are being valuated, especially considering that a lot of tech is just a flash in the pan in terms of like a strong business model. And not saying that that's the case for this particular company, but it's been a pretty prevalent and consistent pattern that these companies get valued at billions of dollars by offering some kind of simple AI solution to something. AI is just getting overblown. I imagine that there's going to be another internet bubble situation with that technology at some point in the future.
To be pointed out that Flock Safety and Andreessen Horowitz have spent a combined $92,680,000 in lobbying, and the vast majority of that lobbying was in the last year. Maybe you are a law
God,
enforcement
good
officer
Lord.
and Flock Safety has helped you solve cases. Or maybe you think that a poorly substantiated claim about a drop in crime is worth the constant monitoring and tracking of hundreds of millions of tax-paying citizens who are not criminals. And those small little glitches that result in young children being held at gunpoint face first on the hot asphalt in a parking lot are just some cracked eggs in the overall omelet that society is trying to make. And if you agree with that, and that's your perspective, fair enough. I strongly disagree with you, but this is a conversation that's not even worth having because all of this is about to get a whole lot worse for everyone, except for the billionaires extracting wealth from taxpayers, of course.
Hey guys, I'm still in the studio. We just finished our Q1 product launch. Fingers are still a little bit shaky. Flock Nova is going to change the game for criminal investigations.
I feel like a lot of these guys, these young tech guys, don't have a really nuanced understanding of the kind of shit that they're doing. Like these people just want to make money. They're not considering whether or not what they're doing is a good thing, if it's the best thing, if this is a thing we should even be doing. And isn't that in every story, every depiction of AI that we've ever had in Hollywood or any other media format, hasn't that been the setup for how the AI goes totally wrong and ends up controlling everything? You know, yeah, they're blinded by the rat race. And I think that's just, it's dangerous place to be. Yeah, this is the opening scene of every Big Brother movie of the past 20 years right here.
I've heard from so many chiefs that they have this system and that system and that system. They know they have the data.
What's up, Dr. Scrolls? First time you're here? Glad you're here, man. Feel free to hop in anytime. Thank you for the $10. Feel free to participate in our engaging and critical conversations. Thank you, brother.
But it's taking their analysts hours and hours to build a case. And now with Flock Nova, it's one click to one case solved.
One click to one case solved. Or potentially one click to one constitutional violation.
Flock Nova is a brand new product that is in beta at the time of me recording this, and it combines computer-aided dispatch, criminal records, video surveillance, automated license plate reader data, and here's the kicker, third-party data acquired by Flock Safety. What third-party data, you ask? They haven't exactly been transparent, but 404 Media asked the same question and found out that Flock Nova was using data leaked and sold from large-scale hacks and security breaches.
Are you kidding me? They're using illegal data with this system? What? Man, the landscape of digital privacy is just the fucking Wild West right now. I just want to let everyone watching this know right now, you do not have any privacy online. There's no such thing as online privacy. Your information is in a database. No doubt about it. And I'm not trying to turn this into an ad or anything like that, but go get Incogni, get something, get some kind of data privacy protections service, because in this day and age we need it. And this is why Incogni and Surfshark have been pretty consistent sponsorships on this channel from the very beginning. And I can't say enough good things about their stuff. And I'm not trying to be a corporate shill right now. Don't get Incogni if you don't want. I just think that it's a good idea to at least try to manage your data when it comes to your digital privacy.
And since that story broke, Flock made an announcement claiming to no longer be using illegally stolen personal data. Most of us at face value don't.
Sure they did. Yeah, they're definitely not doing that anymore. They said it officially, right?
Really seem to mind, or at least don't think it's a big deal that our data is being farmed from us. Like
I just used the line. I did. You could put a spot on the cops playing bingo for me there. Oh, Digital privacy virtually exists. Exactly. That's right. It virtually exists. That's funny.
Is it really
Thank you for
that
the
big of a
10
deal that your activity on Pinterest under a mostly anonymized account is being stored and analyzed and sold? Well, it becomes a very big deal when it's combined with other data and stops being so anonymous. And when your health questionnaire information on BetterHelp was sold to Facebook, where you posted a bunch of photos from bars 10 years ago, and then all of that gets bundled by a data broker with your tracked and logged bad driving habits that your vehicle manufacturer sold. Yeah, that's a thing too. Guess what? All of this may explain the reason your car insurance costs twice as much as anybody else in your age demographic. Or it may explain why you can't seem to get a good interest rate on a loan. And now,
Is that true? I've never known that insurance companies use that kind of shit to give you a quote for insurance. I mean, it makes sense. I'm not doubting whatsoever that that's the case, but I've just never heard of that. That's insane.
especially in 2025, where something you may have posted a decade ago will get you arrested and deported. My point is, data privacy never really seems like a big deal until it is. Some states have various laws regarding this, but nobody really seems to give a shit because in the few cases where they do get caught, the fine or settlement is a mere fraction of the income generated from buying and selling your third-party data. If a large retailer or fast food chain is not using Flock Safety, then they're probably using some other type of automated license plate reader. But once you walk in those doors, oh my God. Let's just use Walmart's corporate privacy policy as an example. They're logging your personal identifiers, your name, your phone number, your address, your email, your driver's license number, your signature, device identifiers such as your phone or smartwatch's MAC address. They're sussing out your age, gender, citizenship, race, marital status, household income, education, unemployment information, family health, number of children, credit card numbers, and other payment information, geolocation history, photographs, audio recordings, video recordings, and if known, background checks and criminal convictions. Oh, hang on, I haven't even gotten to the creepy part yet. Inferences, aka your behavior and preferences from your shopping patterns, intelligence, and aptitude. And they reserve the right to share any and all of this with third parties, including but not limited to, you guessed it. It's been reported that police...
That's interesting that they probably think I'm an idiot if they're tracking my stuff. I'm sure that if they're making an inference based on my social media activity of my intelligence, I'm sure it's pretty low.
Departments have been running queries and sharing Flock Safety's data with ICE. Some Home Depot and Lowe's locations are also Flock Safety customers, and they have also been known to share Flock Safety's data with law enforcement. It might be safe to assume that some of the immigration raids happening at Home Depot and Lowe's locations may be connected to this honeypot of data. So in an...
I don't know about that. Because it's I mean, not saying that that's not true, but what is also true is that pretty much everyone in the country knows that you can drive to Home Depot and there's likely some people standing out there that could potentially be illegal aliens, you know? I mean, I go to my local Home Depot pretty often and there's always a group of Hispanic individuals standing out there ready to work if you want them to. So yeah, maybe there's a connection between this surveillance data and, you know, raids on illegal aliens at Home Depot. But then again, I don't know what exactly an AI system, what information could an AI system give an officer about potentially illegal aliens that a normal camera couldn't? Because it's not like these people have cars, social security numbers, online shopping habits, regular routes of travel, homes, any identification or way of knowing their name other than them telling you. You know what I mean? So I don't know what all the data that's collected by the AI could actually do in that context that an officer just driving by couldn't do. Yeah, facial recognition I mean, that would be a thing, but then they would have to attach that face to some kind of identity or other information unless they're doing it internationally, which we don't know. Maybe they could.
Immigrant picks up some construction supplies before work. The store will then send the license plate and vehicle ID.
Now, I'm not saying that illegal aliens don't have cars. I'm saying that they're not registered. They don't have an identity. They don't have a legitimate identity. So generally, especially the ones standing out in front of Home Depot, wouldn't have a car that's registered to them. You got to have insurance and a license and all of that shit for that. So maybe they probably have cars or at least a way of getting around, but I don't know if they are if they're registered to them or if there's any useful information attached to that data.
Identification data to Flock Safety. That would trigger an alert on the hot list, and just like that, masked men arrive and pick up the Venezuelan day laborer with no criminal record and ship them off to a prison camp in El Salvador.
Well, again, I think that that's a bit of a strong statement to make there, shipping him back to Venezuela. Look, I'm just going to say this. I don't like the state of immigration in our country. I think that it's fucked up. The whole system is fucked up, but it is a crime to come into this country as an undocumented person. And so if, framing this guy as he's just a day worker with no criminal history is not true. If he's an illegal alien, then he does have a criminal history. He committed a crime to get into this country. So, I mean, you guys can take that how you want. Maybe that's offensive to some people, but that's just an objective reality in my world.
Why? Can't y'all just fucking sell tools? So we have these creepy AI cameras everywhere, proving every paranoid schizophrenic person right by logging our vehicles' every move for police, retailers, and even gated communities.
And that's a fair critique that some just overstay visas, but I highly doubt that that's the majority by any means whatsoever. I would say that that's vastly the minority of people who are here. And regardless of whether it's a civil violation or a criminal infraction, I still think that if you overstay your visa, you no longer have a license to be in this country. So is what it is with that.
Then we have retailers building advanced personal and psychological profiles about us, which are then being traded to data brokers and combined with our internet shopping, browsing, and social media activity. And now law enforcement data brokers are buying it all up. Here's a hard truth that we all need to know and consider. If every single actor in this database brokerage theater were playing by the rules and following every single law and acting ethically, your data is still only as safe as the database with the weakest security policies or that one employee that falls for the phishing email.
Exactly, dude. And that's why, that's the thing is like your data is not being treated, is not being hand delivered from one data broker to another or from one company to another. No one is making sure that there's a secure transfer of data that they acquired illegally, So what he's saying there is it just bolsters the point that you really need to monitor your privacy online.
2024 alone, if we are only counting data breaches that were formally reported, that number exceeds over 10,000 incidents affecting 4.2 billion compromised records. But fear not, our legislators are coming to our rescue by banning TikTok. Did I hear that right? And it kind of doesn't even matter at this point. Debating the safeguarding of personal data in 2025 is like standing on the burnt remains of a home and debating what kind of fire extinguisher you're going to put in the kitchen. This next section isn't about big data or retailers. We're going to circle back to the data mining that your tax dollars pay for, and we're going to see just how insecure it is. And we're going to try to come up with some ways to defend ourselves from it. In this chapter, we'll be technically going over how ALPR cameras work and examining a few hardware vulnerabilities, but we kind of don't have to. From what I gathered, Flock Safety cameras can be reached by Bluetooth, and without breaking off into a completely separate tangent, security is not Bluetooth's strength. To Flock Security's credit, from what I could tell, all the Bluetooth seems to be doing is relaying hardware and status information about the camera and transmission system. The camera system also has a Wi-Fi radio that acts as a router with WPA2 encryption, which a lot of consumer products still use despite it being a 20-year-old technology with a lot of flaws. One of those biggest vulnerabilities is in the handshake. If you were to try to guess the passcode on an iPhone, you have about 6 tries before the device times out and makes you wait before you can try again. And this is the same or very similar for any smartphone or Gmail or any modern login page.
It's really killing me to not watch this video in 2x. Because I know I talk slow, but this guy is talking very slow for me.
WPA2 Wi-Fi, there's a pre-shared password key, and an attacker can capture the handshake on their own device so they can sick their GPU on it. And if everything's updated and working properly and there are no other security vulnerabilities at all on the router, a modern gaming GPU can crack an 8-digit key in under 3 hours. If your Wi-Fi password is a known word that would be in a password dictionary, I'd give it about 60 seconds. With some other vendors and services, you don't actually have to crack anything because they failed to secure their RTSP video feeds properly. And in just a few hours, with some specialized search engines, I managed to browse my way into accessing live feeds from over 24 traffic cameras. And what's even more troubling is that in a couple small towns that I audited, if one camera wasn't secured, none of them were, allowing anyone the capability of tracking every single vehicle in the town indefinitely without ever having to see or write a line of code. Another troubling example, Hikvision, the largest IP camera company in the world, they make all types of cameras, many of which have ALPR technology and are marketed towards police departments. In 2022, hackers were able to not only view the feed, but exploit the firmware used in over 80,000 cameras, allowing them to execute code remotely. And then just last year, the Russian
See how much better that is, guys? Isn't that so much better? I encourage you all to 2x your YouTube videos.
military compromised Hikvision cameras in Ukraine to obtain intelligence to plan airstrikes on Kiev and subvert Ukraine's air defense systems. In fact, right now, at the time of me recording this video, you can download an exploit for Hikvision cameras on GitHub that allows you to view the feed, retrieve snapshots, and extract user credentials. Then you have Verkada, a massive security camera company whose chairman has bragged about locking clients into a predatory subscription model.
There is a hardware component and a licensing component. Now, the license, you might have bought a one-year license, but you like literally bolted the hardware to your ceiling. So like you're not taking it down.
Many of their clients in healthcare, prisons, police.
That's a real shitty take to have. And it's amazing that he just said that out loud. We're ripping you off because you're forced to install the hardware and now you're gonna pay the subscription.
Departments and so on couldn't afford to leave for a more secure ecosystem. So when every single one of their 150,000 plus cameras were hacked due to a corporate administrator account having their username and password publicly exposed on the internet, hackers not only had access to the private video feeds, but the networks that they were connected to.
And they were also able to access the archives of those cameras as well, the clips that had been saved by those customers.
If there's one way to get me completely obsessed about something technical, it's to tell me that I'm not allowed to learn about it. And few industries are cagier about technical analysis or pen testing than the security camera industry. One would assume that it's because they do not want the general public figuring out the technical function of a device that people depend on for security. And by forcing customers into tight agreements or ceasing and desisting anybody who posts a disassembly video, they're making you safer. If you're
That's exactly what Axon does as well with their body cameras. It is highly illegal. There is actually laws against breaking into an Axon camera because it could potentially give you access to a giant database of evidence and corrupt that evidence. So
buying, or if you're in the market buying any type of home, business, or civic security device or solution, you should be looking for a solution with a high level of openness and transparency. Probably about the worst thing that a nerdy YouTube channel can do.
So is 2x bad? You guys don't like 2x? Maybe we should do another vote on that. I'm just going to do this just to see how many of you guys actually watch 2x. Oh, I didn't mean to start a Q&A. Let's see what you guys think about it.
To malicious hackers is make content publicly reporting on security vulnerabilities because it forces the manufacturers to swiftly correct those vulnerabilities or face losing customers to competitors. I started my journey here by obtaining one of the most popular license plate recognition cameras that are mounted on police cars made by Vigilant Solutions, which is a tough sounding name that Motorola uses when trying to market to law enforcement agencies. It truly did feel like more of Motorola's efforts went into obfuscating its functionality and making it absurdly proprietary than the part that, reads license plates. And ironically, it had a micro SD card in it with unencrypted data. Yeah, not great. Most of them have two different camera sensors, one for the daytime and one for the nighttime, and then a bunch of infrared light emitters. So for example, if a police officer is driving behind a vehicle at night, it'll send out an infrared flash and then take a photo at a very high frame rate.
All right, we'll stick to 1.5.
So it's underexposed everywhere but the infrared reflection from the license plate itself. And keep in mind that our human eyeballs are not able to see infrared light, so you or the police officer probably doesn't even realize that a flash is taking place. I'll demonstrate this really quick. Here is a longer exposure with no infrared flash. Here is a longer exposure with an infrared flash. Here's a very fast exposure with the infrared flash. Anyway, this channel's attorney has expressed some concern over the complicated legalities of powering the camera on and using it in this video.
Have you guys ever seen that game?
Expressed some concern over the complicated
this game. It's something to do with like an attorney, like you play as an attorney. Man, I can't remember what the name of this game is, but we should try this out on the stream sometime because like you're basically Ace Attorney. That's right. Yes. You're essentially an attorney and you're in court and you have to, kind of make decisions as far as I understand it. I've never played it, but I've seen a couple people play clips of it, in my feed. But people, we'll try that out one day.
Realities of powering the camera on and using it in this video, considering how I obtained it. And no, I did not steal it off of a police car. So instead, I took it apart and analyzed just about every chip on it, and then rebuilt something similar to the functionality of the daytime camera to see if I can get a nice license plate reader on my truck, just like the police have. And then rather than sending all the data to an external computer or server, I figured I might as well try to do everything in a sleek device that I put together. I put a Raspberry Pi 5 behind a 7-inch touchscreen display, then used a USB camera module with the exact same specs as the daytime camera. As mentioned earlier, the first order of business is image segmentation, or finding the license plate itself. And this was the most challenging part that required the most tweaking because rectangles are everywhere. The OCR, or the plate reading part of this project, worked just fine, but if this were my police department and I was the chief, I'd demand better. And ultimately, what's the point of doing all of this if we're not going to create a future-proof method of using technology to allow citizens to opt out from being logged by these types of devices? So we need some more modern AI. There are quite a few license plate reader models available and a virtually endless supply of shape recognition models. YOLO, or You Only Look Once, seemed to perform the most accurate out of the bunch, and it was working much better than the open ALPR-based models that some popular public safety data broker companies use. But YOLO is also pretty power hungry, so I had to add a Halo AI board with 26 POPs to my little police computer here, and then I decided to switch to a camera that communicated directly with the Pi board with dual channels, and that way I wouldn't have to deal with the overhead of a USB controller. I know this is so dorky, but look, we have an incredibly powerful computer vision system that's much more accurate than anything on the market for law enforcement, and it probably cost me around $250 if you don't count the trial and error. What's better is I could probably use an accurate computer vision system for future projects, or maybe it'll just simply let me know.
I had an idea for an AI product kind of like this. Well, nothing like this really, but if any of you are in here that are tech savvy, I was thinking like, why don't they make an AI product that is essentially a standalone survival guide? So like you load an LLM onto a Raspberry or something to that effect, make it solar powered, and just basically load the language model with survival related things like plant identification, how to build shelters, what to do if you're bitten by certain animals. Just basically like a standalone device that doesn't require any connection to the grid. And you basically have every amount of survival information that you could ever want right there. Somebody should do that. I would buy that.
When one of my chickens escapes. But in the meantime, we're going to pump it through Recourse Scout, a company similar to Flock Safety that also allows the option of sharing my data to the police.
This extremely secure sharing network allows agencies to access data and records from any other participating partner across the Rekor ecosystem, including residential members of our Rekor Scout home package.
Come to think of it, now that I'm saying this out loud, this also presents a pretty big security vulnerability, as I could just rob a bank and then supply input
Fallout
data with an RTSP stream tagging me driving my vehicle 400 miles away from the bank. But anyway, all right, so welcome to Ben's top models, AI models. We have Rekor, YOLO V11, Plate Recognizer, and classic Open ALPR for our 4 license plate and vehicle tracking test subjects. And I even made a custom license plate for this project, which is also what I will make my DJ name.
Ben Jordan is taking a more direct approach. He wants to confuse the AIs using something called adversarial noise.
Confusing AI models and preventing them from replicating the track.
If you've been here before, you may have seen my ongoing project that encodes music files with noise that AI hears, but humans cannot. It effectively makes instrument and genre classifiers completely confused, and that makes the AI hear complete and utter nonsense. The whole point of that project was to develop something that would prevent AI companies from scraping my and others' albums and reselling the...
That's really cool. This guy's cool. I like this, like the everyday anarchist kind of vibe. It's not he's not breaking the law. He's showing you how to do civil disobedience in a modern era, which I appreciate.
Data as an AI music service. And so far, the algorithm is working very well and improving. And the reason I develop things like this is because the people that we've elected to protect our intellectual property and our privacy rights aren't doing their jobs. So if we want any sort of defense from this, we need to roll up our sleeves and use technology to defend ourselves. Sometimes videos like this are controversial because adversarial noise attacks have the potential of becoming a pretty big, expensive problem for the AI industry, especially since the vast majority of that industry is just rapidly feature hunting while building on top of pre-existing AI models that just work. For example, you can't ask an AI model how exactly it recognizes a face because it doesn't have a human brain or eyes, nor is it equipped with a consciousness-based intelligence capable of actually recognizing a person.
What's up, Electric? I haven't seen you in the chat yet. What's up, my brother?
black box problem isn't really a problem when an AI model manages to generate an image or a song or recognize a license plate. It just works. But when somebody introduces an attack that prevents the model from working, you can't just open it up and fix a few things. A few years ago, with something called Nightshade, some tech-savvy artists attempted to poison pill their artwork by introducing invisible noise to the image that confused models trained for image generators. And it worked incredibly well at first. Well, luckily for generative AI companies, they figured out that by adding some blur to the images, then using another AI algorithm to sharpen those images, they could remove most of the confusing noise. That's not exactly a great solution or a cure for the problem. It's more like a bandage, because now training image models takes longer and costs more due to these additions to the data processing workflow. And that particular bandage isn't going to be great for optical character recognition used by license plate readers, because the whole point of the technology is accurately outputting text from an image, not generating abstract license plate photos. So with that being said, here's what we're going to be doing here. I have a license plate database, and I make 1,000 identical traffic images with a plate superimposed on a car. If a license plate isn't even detected at all by both models, meaning that it doesn't even see the plate or rectangle itself, that gets moved to class A. If the license plate was detected,
I got to be honest, I'm getting bored. I'm getting bored by this video. I get it. He makes his own version.
With both models, but it got the plate information wrong, that moves to class B. Then, if either model detects and reads it correctly, it goes to class C, which is a control group. Then I do this a whole lot of times with a whole lot of different license plates and create a robust data set to train a new model whose job is to generate abstract, invisible license plate overlay patterns that cannot be detected by humans, but make license plate recognition systems utterly shit the bed. So I put the processing application up here on GitHub, and once you install processing, it's pretty easy to use, and everything is kind of explained in the code itself. Once you configure everything correctly, you'll have a bunch of images like this, where you will have tiny bits of noise on your plate. Some will be more or less conspicuous than others. Now we need to test those images. I created a Python proving ground to do that. So once the libraries utilizing your GPU are installed and you run the script, it will open up a little dialog where you will select a folder. It will go through every single image in the folder. Then it will create a new folder and fill it up with images, which will tell you where it detected the license plate and what it thinks it read and a confidence value of that. We have Poo 5000 with the original. We have Moo 5000 with one of the perturbed. We have PDQ 5009, 9005, 400, Do 5000, Poo 5 Do. And then what I'm really interested in, on some of these, it didn't detect a plate at all. Somehow the noise pattern actually perturbed the image segmentation model detecting a rectangle on a vehicle. And if we could figure out what pattern is breaking the image segmentation, like detecting the license plate itself, then it's possible that you could just have a license plate holder that doesn't obfuscate the plate at all. That could make it much less likely to be read by the AI in the license plate readers. Oh, and my little Python app here also outputs all the data into a CSV file just so you can analyze all the data in front of you at once. It was time to test this in the real world against these prototypes. I thought it would be fun to print out the noise on transparent adhesive sheets for my Poo 5000 license plate. This is just an easy way to test the patterns and definitely not something you would actually want to put on your car and drive on public roadways unless you miss your friends in prison. Hey officer, it's just a little mud from all my off-roading. 12 miles per hour. I'm definitely...
Yeah, I was going to say that I'm almost positive that that's not legal. That any kind of obstructive material over your license plate, even if it's just something small, like, and as a matter of fact, there's probably some statutes in certain states that even, you know, your license plate being covered by some natural source, like if you went to like a mud hole or something and just ripped around and your car got muddy, that could even be a reason to pull you over. So I imagine that if you were to try to sell a product like this, or if you were caught with one on your vehicle, you would probably get a ticket for it.
Throwing these cameras a softball. Let's do one at congested parking lot speeds. I mean, that's like essentially holding text right up to the camera. That looks like a normal license plate. Some of these ALPR models are not as visually interesting as others, so rather than just showing a bash terminal scrolling text, we'll stick with footage of the ones where I could pump live video in and get real-time results. So with no adversarial noise, just the raw license plate, it detected Poo 5000. This is adversarial noise layer A. And it's definitely pretty confused, and it doesn't seem to pass the confidence threshold to even register a plate at all. I tried the Band 1 plate because it's a style that hasn't been used in like 30 or 40 years, and it has red text, and it's just very different than the one that we were trying to attack initially with the black noise. And it definitely does confuse it quite a bit. All right, this is Yowo V8. Booyah. Not all of them passed the test, which was completely expected, but a lot of them did. And I'm reasonably confident that if I just screen printed some of these on a plate and slapped it on my vehicle, I'd be a traffic camera ninja. And again, these are probably not street legal anyway and are just training data for the final model, which will ideally be completely invisible to the human eye and not obstruct the license plate in any perceivable way.
Okay. Now it makes sense. If it's not obstructing the license plate in any visible way, then there's probably not a way for them to prove that that's why they pulled you over. So yeah, I guess that beats it all. And to be fair, he's not talking fast. We have it at 1.5x speed right now.
When I made the video about Harmony Cloak and when I introduced Poisonify, my AI music defense algorithm, I got inundated by people asking for a user-friendly app or website where they could use it on their own music. I got VCs wanting to invest in it and companies wanting to exclusively own it. And I'm flattered, if not surprised, by that level of enthusiasm. It's actually really inspiring. But this channel is a nonprofit organization that allows me to do independent research on whatever it is that I feel like researching and then share.
I was thinking about that too, Electric, because I know that, you know, well, no, I think he mentioned that at the beginning. Now that they have something if I'm not mistaken, they have some reason to, like, they can somehow reflect the light back or something like that. He said something about that at the beginning, about how just doing infrared is not enough. I can't remember what he said though, and trust me, I'm not rewinding this video.
Share those ideas for free publicly, and it's my dream job. And that same set of principles applies to this project. In Greek mythology, there's this venomous multi-headed serpent that lives in the swamps, and it goes by the name of the Larnean Hydra. And anytime that somebody tried to slay this monster by cutting off one of its heads, they would see 2 heads grow back in its place instantly. And this monster caused many generations to live in fear until one very powerful and brave man was tasked with destroying it, Donald J. Trump, or Hercules. Or John Wick, I'm not really sure. If projects like this have any hope of putting a dent in things technologically or inspiring legislation to further protect people's IP or privacy, then you're going to need a whole lot of people working creatively on solutions and sharing that information with one another. And that way, if AI companies figure out a way around a defensive technology, 2 more will pop up in its place. And it's worth pointing out that I have absolutely no problem with my license plate being identifiable or readable by.
Well, I think I like that he's saying, essentially, I'm not really trying to fix the problem or provide like a legitimate reason or a legitimate way to circumvent this issue, but maybe I can establish a foothold in the canon of this eventually being defeated. And that's a good perspective to have.
Law enforcement officers, or even the person driving behind me. I don't even have a problem with police using license plate readers mounted on their vehicles. Driving a 2-ton vehicle that is capable of going well over 100 miles per hour on a public roadway or a parking lot is a pretty big responsibility and privilege. Anywhere in the United States, if law enforcement wants to track your location via phone for a prolonged period or even ping you beyond a single cell phone tower, they are required to have a good reason for it, and an elected judge needs to agree that it's a good enough reason by granting them a warrant. This was argued, debated, and decided by the Supreme Court in a landmark ruling from the 2018 case Carpenter v. United States.
Timestamp data provides an intimate window into a person's life, revealing not only his particular movements, but through them, his familial, political, professional, religious, and sexual associations.
Hey, shout out to SCOTUS being featured in this video.
These location records, quote, hold for many Americans the privacies of life.
So it would be reasonable to assume that tracking someone's location with AI without a warrant would be a violation of their Fourth Amendment right. Right? Well, that has not been ruled on yet. And if they agree that it's a constitutional violation, they'll be leading the Flock Safety unicorn out of its $8 billion stable and shooting it right in the head. And considering the...
Yeah, they're never going to do that. I imagine that there's probably a lot of incentive at play for them to rule the exact opposite.
Combined $92 million lobbying effort of Flock Safety and their primary investor, maybe it's not so confusing why nobody will straighten this whole constitutional rights thing out. My point, that's taking forever to get to, is I have no idea if using adversarial noise to confuse AI tracking system is legal or not in your state. For this reason, if you were inspired by this video or this information, I would advise and ask that you use that inspiration to research this type of technology. And I would not advise or ask that you immediately screen print or place a matte sticker on your license plate, because you very well could be the one that they make an example out of.
Very true.
I want to talk today about my love affair with this video sponsor, my Patreon members, because without them...
Okay. I think we basically got the gist of this video. I'm honestly over that video. I wish we'd picked the Guess the Undercover Cop video, because that seems like it would have been a lot more fun. Just start running around wearing my mask. Yeah, be sure when you commit crimes that you look like me. Oh, all right. Let's see. We got like 10 minutes left. I really got to pee. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to go pee real quick, and then I'll play a game or two of chess with you guys specifically. So if you want to challenge me to a game of chess while I go take this piss, that'd be cool. Feel free. Let's see. I think you can see my name on there. Just send me a request to play a game, and I'll be back in a couple seconds. All right. All right. There we go. We officially killed the viewership, so we can get to playing chess now. Did I get any requests? Oh yeah, I think. Wait. Someone send me a request. I don't even know how to. Oh wait, here. Want to be friends? You want to be friends? Oh, that's a chat request. Isn't it supposed to just pop up? Oh, you sent me a. How do I even look at that? I don't even know. I'm used to playing on my phone. Social? I shook 4 times and I washed my hands with my face. I just like to rub my hands on my face when I'm done. Thank you, PT. Thanks for being here, brother. You think you did it? Okay, let me try. How do I? Last time I did this, whenever you guys sent the request, it just popped up. You cannot harvest bathroom data here. Yeah, I don't know how to do this. Someone send me a request, please, or I'm just gonna. Oh wait, is it messages? Unread? No. There we go. All right. 1800. What the fuck? You're about to just destroy me, dude. I'm about to get absolutely ripped on here. Hmm. Hmm. Don't be looking at my screen right now, thinker. You'll be cheating, bro. I want to do that. Fuck, how did I fall for that? I'm just gonna destroy my base. Whatever. Oh, why did I do that? Damn it. I'm not on my shit today, guys. Hmm. Thanks for being here, Sandy. Appreciate you sticking around and watching this stuff. What's up, Phil? I thought everyone did that, Phil. Was that not something everyone does? No. Oh wait, I'm not fucked yet. Okay, I was almost fucked. What's up, Kiki? Haven't seen you in here today. John uses a bidet. Wow, fancy. Oh, you've been in here the whole stream? I didn't even see you? My bad. Sorry. Yeah, you can play me next, Catherine. Just send me an invite after this game. I'll play one more and that'll be the end of it. Hmm. Who narrates ATA? Well, I'm sure that my mod could post a link to the narrator's website. His name is Andrew Baldwin. He does a great job. What the fuck, thinker? How dare you, dude? That was disgusting. That was a disgusting move. Ugh. Jesus Christ. I'm screwed now. And I just let you have that too, huh? Oh, why did I meant to go right here. What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? Oh, I see. All right, you win. All right. 1800, you win. You win. I made a blunder. Congrats. All right, Catherine, send me your request. Oh, there it is. Got your friend request. Now send me the game request. Or maybe I could send you one. Hold on. Friends. Catherine. There we go. I'm about to send you a challenge. That was not a sharp game. Well, maybe on your part. Not a sharp game for me. The villains, yeah, Andrew does narrate the villains, and that's a pretty good channel. They do some pretty good, you know, body camera coverage. Some. When are these live sessions? Yeah, every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 to 9. What's up, Catherine? I don't see you accepting my game request here. I'll try to send you another one really quick. Let's see. Social friends. Oh, there we go. There you are. Oh, you're a 400? This is going to be basically like the last game, but the opposite. I should make one historical however video with all the instances of that word. That'd probably take forever to make, but that's a funny idea. Has anyone here ever successfully used the 2-move checkmate? Yeah, you can definitely get away with that when you first start out on this on chess.com for sure. Plenty of people do, and I've seen plenty of people try it all the time. We did the offhandle, we did the call-ins last time, so we're probably not going to do any of that today, but we probably will next time. See you later, Phil. Thanks for stopping in, brother. Appreciate it. Playing kind of conservatively, honestly. Have I considered a live tour? I don't think that I don't know if I have enough fans for that, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I couldn't do a live tour. I have considered doing a book signing event. But I just don't know where I would hold it, or if people would even come, or if it would just be a total embarrassment. I don't know. But maybe that'll be something we do in the future. Tens of us will come for sure. Yeah, tens would show up, no doubt. There would be tens of people there. Rent the NBA stadium just for that. That would be funny. It would be funny in general just to have a live thing where like 10 people show up and then I just act all upset about it. Sorry, I'm just gonna try to make this quick. It's not the most eloquent way to do this, but here in Kentucky, come there first. Kentucky actually probably wouldn't be a bad place to do it. I bet that I have a pretty good like viewer base in the Appalachia area, you know. Good game there, Catherine. I appreciate it. That was fun. Thank you for playing. Phil, my man. Peace. Peace out to Phil. Appreciate your $10, dude. Thank you. Guys, if I just kept streaming, I could be making $10 an hour. That's what it seems like. That's a livable wage according to the government. Thank you, Phil. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we got a lot of body camera coverage in today, which is, you know, ultimately the goal of these streams, but I like to have a little fun and do some chess or something like that every now and then. I will say that I have a few ideas for unique videos coming to the John Lang channel, and you may be getting exposed to me actually going out in the field a little bit more. Depending, you know, tomorrow I'm going to release the video covering mine and Justin's trip to Hanceville. So if you could, I know you guys probably saw that live on the stream, but if you could go watch that video tomorrow, that would be awesome. Because, you know, it would really, the better that video does, the more motivated I feel to actually go out into the field and record stuff like that. It's just that I don't think I had the audience for that necessarily before, and maybe I do now. I don't know, but we'll just see how the video does tomorrow. Oh, what's up, One Man in Japan? I didn't even see you there, dude. Yeah, if you could leave a like on the stream, that would be awesome. Oh, Michael Levine. Thanks for all you do. Love your content for years. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. Thank you for your $5, and I'll continue to do this kind of content. You're the man, and shout out to Brad. Sorry I didn't see you. But if you guys could watch tomorrow's video, that would mean a lot to me. And I would really like to go out and get into the field and record some standalone videos for John Lang. And I just got to know that there's a market for that, because, you know, I don't mean to sound like a pretentious prick, but my time is pretty valuable, considering how much it takes to edit, run, and create content for 3 channels now. And I just it needs to be worth it, you know, for me to be able to sacrifice the time that I'm putting into that to dedicate to more, you know, more content. So yeah, please. Yeah, skip the chess if you want. It wasn't very good anyway, on my part especially. Urka, my man. Well, that says super sticker, but everyone can see there in the chat that it's a hype hippo. That's what's up. Dennis, brother, thank you for the $20, my man. I really appreciate that. You got to get up early. That sucks, especially on a Sunday. That really sucks. I feel you though, dude. You got to do what you got to do every day. But you're the man. You got to get up early and get to your restaurant where you give away free money. Kiki, TJ. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That means a lot from you, Kiki. I think you're probably my top donator as far as like the amount of times you've donated. Yeah, we can definitely talk about that one day, Electric. But shout out to Kiki. Thank you for the $2. I appreciate that. But this is something that we need to talk about. I mean, I can't believe how many police interactions I've seen of them getting into completely unnecessary police pursuits, and it ended up costing someone their life or their property at the very least. So we will talk about that one day. Off the handle. Keep doing your thing, JL. Appreciate it, brother. I will. I don't know how to do anything else. So if I stop doing this, I'll probably be making $20 at Walmart or something. I don't know. I definitely can't go back to the traditional journalism industry anymore. So this is the only way I can use my degree in any meaningful way. So I'll try to keep doing this for as long as I can, brother. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be wrapping it up for today. Like I said, tune into the channel tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'm going to be releasing mine and the Random Patriots exclusive coverage. And it's not just going to be like a copy paste of the stream. I did a little additional editing, moved things around, and made it make sense more in a video format. So I would appreciate it a lot if you guys would check it out, let me know what you think, and let me know if you want to see more of that kind of content and me actually going places. So let me know, and until then, I'll see you guys Tuesday. So thanks for being here. Thanks for playing me in chess and beating my ass. And I'm looking forward to doing it again. We'll talk to you on the next live stream. That video is dropping at 11 a.m. Central Time tomorrow. But thank you. Please hit the like button. Check out my video tomorrow, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Till then, cheers, ladies and gentlemen.